Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you at Landon Arena inside Stormont Vale Event Center in Topeka, Kansas. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Prowlers back here for the first time since winning a pair of neutral site games over the Dashers last season. They're hoping to have the same success against the Topeka Scarecrows squad that's been red hot since losing both games to the Prowlers in October in Port Huron. This Topeka squad took off 20 full days from hockey before playing in Baton Rouge last weekend. They won both, and they're trying to get closer to the Prowlers in second place in the Empire. We'll have much more coming up for you on the pregame show next. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network. Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers Hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PHProwlers, and Twitter at PHProwlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Prowlers Hockey. Welcome back to Landon Arena. Prowlers and Scarecrows getting set to go. And let's take you quickly through our pregame show here as we take a look at the last game for both of these teams, starting with the Scarecrows, as last time out they pulled off an OT win over the Baton Rouge Zydeco on the road. 4-3 the final. Elijah Wilson, formerly of the Baton Rouge Zydeco, got the game winner in overtime, part of a 3-point night, and the Scarecrows extended their win streak to 4. Meanwhile, for the Prowlers, they picked up a 4-2 win on Wednesday. Scarecrows did not play on Wednesday, Prowlers did, and they beat the Indiana Sentinels by a score of 4-2. Matt Graham, a 3-point night for him. Nick Favaro, who we'll talk about later, had 2 assists. The Prowlers behind 4 second period goals get the victory. Take a look at what this means for the standings in the Empire Division. Black Bears still 8 points up on the Prowlers right now for the top spot. And you see Topeka there with all those games in hand, still right there in the mix if they can win those games in hand. So again, that's something to keep an eye on and makes this weekend very, very important for the Prowlers, and that is something that I chatted with Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin about earlier today. Here with Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin following morning skate today. And Coach, traveling here to Topeka, ready for a big 3-3. How are you guys ready to go?
Oh yeah, guys are excited. Fun trip and good skate this morning, so guys are ready to go.
There's a team that's right behind you in the standings, especially with all the games in hand that they have. How important is it to bury them early in the season?
Yeah, we're not really focused on the standings right now. We're coming in. Good team we're playing against here. I think the guys are ready to go. We know what to expect. We've played them before, and it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a war out there. So we're only focused on tonight. Big game tonight. With
Brian Parsons coming back from his suspension, is Austin Fairley moving back up?
We'll see. We'll see what we're going to do here. That's well, you'll find out the same time Topeka finds out. But we got a lot of guys ready to go tonight. Everyone knows their roles, and it should be a fun one.
I'll also ask you about filling in for Reggie Millette now that he's suspended tonight.
Yeah, tough shoes to fill. But, Reg will be out tonight. We expect him back after he serves his time there. And, great opportunity for a lot of guys. So it should be a fun one.
All right, thank you, Coach.
You got it.
We will take you down to ice level now for tonight's national anthem.
For various choral and competitions. He is classically trained opera singer in French, German, and Italian. Thomas is the sixth generation to work cattle at his family's land outside Dover. He is the proud husband of Melissa, who teaches band at Washburn Rural North Middle School, as well as a father of his three sons, Bo, Calder, and Abel.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That is tonight's national anthem from Topeka, Kansas. Prowlers and the Scarecrows getting ready to go. Let's take a look at how we project the lines to look for the Prowlers tonight. Well, Reggie Millette is out, of course, as he picked up a one-game suspension from the end of the Indiana game on Wednesday. He'll be eligible to return tomorrow night. But the Prowlers will also be without Lucas Lockney, who was a late scratch tonight, an unexpected scratch, but he is also out of the lineup. So Austin Federley moves back up to forward with Brian Parsons back in, and he will be alongside Jamie Bussell and Bobby Price. Connor Bazal taking Lockney's spot on that line with Graham and Artu Hakala. Luke James slots in. Brett Morick comes back in as well. So those are your expected lines here for the Port Huron Prowlers in tonight's game as they get set to go against the Topeka Scarecrows. Again, first time the Prowlers have been in this building since they faced the Dashers last season in neutral site games. And those, of course, are part of the push to get hockey back here to Topeka. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Prowlers here tonight. One quick look here as we get Connor Bazell, Brett Morick, and Artu Hakala up front. Bit of a mixed line. Tim Morgan, Brett Lockhart on defense, and Reed Cooper between the pipes tonight for the Port Huron Prowlers. The Scarecrows tonight wearing specialty jerseys for Breast Cancer Awareness Night as we are getting set to go underway. Avery Smith and Connor Bazal having a bit of a sick match here on the near side wing, but puck is down. We are underway here from Topeka. Morick able to kick the puck along into the offensive zone, squeezed off by Doug Blaisdell. Lockhart sells it down at the point. Sent it right back down deep. Bazal took a bump, continues moving. Cycle for Morick. Morick taken in by Blaisdell, back towards Bazal. Prowlers continue to work behind the Topeka net. And finally, it's dug out by Cam Clark, number 22, former Binghamton Black Bear. scored in his Scarecrows debut last week, and as Reed Cooper stretched out that right pad to make the save on the dump-in. Scott Koash, the leader in goals and points for this Scarecrows club, sent it to Papa Petros, wrapped it around deep. Nick Favaro taken in hard by Hugo Koch. Favaro off for Alex Johnson. Top deep pairing for the Prowlers has been a huge part of their offense as of late. Here is Johnson for Bobby Price. He'll start to move north. This one goes all the way around, and that is an icing against the Prowlers. Let's take a look at tonight's starting goaltenders, brought to you by Harrison Metal Fab. Reed Cooper and Sammy Bernard between the pipes, the two guys who spent about a week in the ECHL earlier this season. Cooper with the Kalamazoo Wings and Bernard with the Wichita Thunder. Neither of them saw game action, but the first two ECHL call-ups for the FPHL this season. Koash harassed by Bucell along the half wall. Centering P cut off by Favaro. Bucell trying to spin off a check of Tyler Inlow, number 12. Speaking of Wichita, he's a native of Wichita, Kansas. Tyler Inlow signed at the end of October. 3 Prowlers, 2 Scarecrows still trying to dig the puck free. And now it's Koash pulling it off the boards all the way around the net, looking for a centering option. Goes to the point. Papa Petros, wrister off the back glass. Koash the first one on it. Popped it out to Koch. His shot fired just wide. Papa Petros collects on the far point. Favaro trying to work it out of his own end. One hands it along, knocked back. Koch. Pass across, hit a skate, and Price will get to escape his own end. Port Huron looking for a change. Brockway bounces it up, cut off by Wilson, and dumped back deep. Ryan Parsons, fresh off a 1-game suspension, slid it up to Luke James. Couldn't get it out. Brockway poked it around to the far side. Anderson, nice move around TJ Sneath. Blake Anderson fires up the right wing side. Works in, outside shot off a stick. DeCumbus bounces for Anderson. Play to the far point. Parsons cycles it back down deep. Tim Organ pinches in. Muscled off. Jacob Gagnon trying to grab that puck. And now it's Norwinski. High flip out of the zone. Glove down by Organ. He'll bang it right back in. Over 3 minutes gone. Nearly 3.5 gone in period 1. Between the Prowlers and the Scarecrows. Hakala got it out to Oregon. Sent it back down low. Matt Graham looking for Bazal. Hakala to the corner. Lots of cycling for both sides, just pushing the puck around, but only one shot on net so far. It belongs to Topeka. Hakala took a hit in front of the penalty boxes. That's Oregon. D for Lockhart. Gave it back to Oregon all by himself. Waiting for help off the bench. Fed it to the outside. Went off a skate. Oregon waits for his team to get onside before he dumps it back in. Koch tossed it out. Favaro on to Federley. Indirect feed. Sent Bucell after it in the offensive end. Blaisdell got there first. Prowlers back in numbers as Blaisdell fires it off the near side corner. Federley, Prowlers captain, back to a forward position tonight after spending the past 4 games as a defenseman. Blake Anderson wheeling in on his backhand. Turns, looks towards the net, sent it there, saved Bernard, and he left a rebound that was cleared away. Popped out in front, Anderson whacking at it. Wilson able to force it out of the zone. Favaro, indirect pass, James dumps it back deep, and he heads off for a change after a hit from Koash. Meanwhile, it's Wilson. Sneath dumps it around. Cooper all the way out of his goal crease to play it. Brockway. Bounce off the boards. It's worked out. Hakala chasing after it. Now Bazal. Spun off. Bazal takes it off the wall. Graham to the line. Brockway. Wrister kick save by Bernard Bazal. Back in. He scores! Connor Bazal with his first pro goal. Prowlers a 1-0 lead. Brockway with the original shot. Bernard let the juicy rebound and no one there but Connor Bazal to put it home and finally get goal number 1 of his pro career. And the Prowlers score on their second shot of the game. Good hard work from the Elk River, Minnesota native. And Bazal, who was originally signed on to be a Monroe Moccasin as a rookie this year, ended up coming over in the Tucker Scantleberry trade this summer. Along with, of course, Nick Favaro and Blake Anderson, and he has his first as a pro. Doug Blaisdell. All the way up to Avery Smith. Scarecrows trying to push in. Morick scoops up the puck in the corner. James with Anderson. Gave it to him. Blake Anderson trying to slip past a check. Here's Morick on the backhand. Sent it in front. James a whack. Anderson a couple of whacks. And ended up in the corner. James to the top. Organ walks. Wrister deflected. Anderson whacked at it as it bounced past him. Cleared all the way down. And that will be an icing against the Scarecrows. We will take our first time out. Connor Bazal's first pro goal, the only one so far here in Topeka. We'll be right back on the PHP Network.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a whole play. I'll say, come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Hello, I'm home.
There he is.
What is happening?
Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch?
Spicy.
Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite.
Can you stop?
Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack Wrap is back.
Back here in Topeka, Prowlers with a 1-0 lead as Connor Bazal, the only goal so far. Offensive zone draw coming for Port Huron after the icing. You see there again, first one for Bazal, hunting pucks down low. Of course, the Prowlers coaching staff is going to love that. Their players getting to the dirty areas right in front of the net. Here is Bazal once again. Swept it to the line. Lockhart. Wrister. Kick save by Bernard. Corey Checo goes off the boards. And it's hammered back in by Organ. Came right to Bernard. And he will scoop it up and hang on. .13:04 left to go in period one. Prowlers up on shots 5-1. Getting a good early jump on the Scarecrows tonight. Face off to Bernard's right. The DeCumbus line out there for the Prowlers. Which again had typically, as of late, been featuring Bobby Price. A lot of speed with DeCumbus, Price, and Anderson. Price has moved up to the top line tonight on Jamie Bucell's line with Lucas Lockney's late scratches. Here's DeCumbis, centered out in front, and Bernard got his paddle in the way of the pass. Reggie Millette being suspended tonight meant a little bit of line shuffling. And now Luke James taking Price's spot as Koash slips one wide on the backhand. In low, up to the point, Papa Petros a wrister that Cooper is able to knock down. Koch bounced it up top. Papa Petros off the back wall, in low, trying to sweep it out in front. Penalty coming up against the Prowlers. Hooking the signal, and Brian Parsons to the box. Topeka will get on the first power play of the game. Take another look, watch Parsons in front of the net. It'll be as the puck comes back down low again. And watch Parsons there right in front of the net. Gets his stick right in the midsection there of Inlow. So Topeka power play that is ranked 5th in the FPHL, 23.2%, went 3 for 9 last weekend in Baton Rouge, gets its first look. They have the big guns out there right now as Papa Petros lost the handle at the blue line. That forces everyone to clear out. Sneath, Wilson, Lind, Papa Petros, and Koch out there right now for Topeka. Scott Koash really the only big gun missing right now on this man advantage unit. Papa Petros, left wing side, Lind firing up. Got it to Sneath, working in, and Ben Brockway able to poke it off his stick. Papa Petros at the line, over to Wilson. Back to Papa Petros. They continue to play catch. Wilson again, directing traffic. Got it back from Papa Petros once more. Here's Sneath spinning in the corner. Trying to move it back up to Wilson. Morick pinched in on him. Now a shot comes in, tip, save, rebound, popped over top of the net. Comes back to the line once more. Papa Petros, wrister, didn't get all the way through. Koch able to bang it back down deep. Lind for Wilson, 46 seconds left on the power play for Topeka. Pass down low, and Lind scores. Connor Lind on the back door, able to finish off the power play goal, and the Scarecrows have tied it. Perfect pass, and no chance for Cooper as Lind came out from behind the net, kind of got lost in the coverage. Just like that, Topeka back even on Lind's second goal of the season. And Lind's only other goal came at McMorran Place.
Scarecrows goal!
That's the second shot of the game for Topeka, so both teams scoring on their second shot of the night. Graham able to get it to Bazal, and it's tipped in by Hakela.
He shoots!
Gagnon rips it up the boards, tipped out of the zone. Oregon, pull-up move, got it deep. Alex Norwinski backpedals, D to D. Avery Smith, one of many former Motor City Rockers on this Scarecrow squad. Might as well call them Rockers West. Prowlers trying to get a full change going before the Scarecrows get another offensive opportunity. Smith, his pass eluded his intended target. That was Koch. Passed out to Koash, had to catch it in his skates. Flipped high up in the air. Knocked down and pushed out. Smith trying to fire it right back around. Koch and Parsons canceled out. DeCumbis couldn't get his pass off to James. Rimmed around Koch. Bumped it out. In low, heading after his own dump along with Favaro. Johnson, lead pass off of Anderson's skate. In low, drops it off, couldn't find his teammate. Here comes Price flying in with Anderson. Price, pass over, was blocked away by the back-checking Gordon Whalen. Flipped in on Cooper. They'll keep it moving off for Favaro. Bucell up the boards. Favaro. He'll try the left wing side. He has Price. Federley couldn't tip it deep. Price claps it off the back glass. Port Huron making another change here. Sneath wheeling up. Gives it to Wilson. Back towards Sneath, and Cooper able to catch it in the breadbasket. He'll hang on for a whistle and a face-off. 1-1 our score as the Scarecrows and Prowlers are all knotted up. We'll be right back here on the PHP Network.
Yeah, free food. I know, you guys are sick and tired of hearing me say food already.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go
Go
Prowlers!
Prowlers!
Back here in Topeka, Connor Bazell and Connor Lind. The 2 goals so far, Prowlers and Scarecrows tied up at a goal apiece. And for the Scarecrows, a team that's very top-heavy. They have 4 guys in Koch, Wilson, Sneath, and Kowash who've combined for 54 points this season. The rest of their roster, 48 coming into this game. So to see a guy like Connor Lind get a goal and provide some of that secondary scoring, huge for Topeka. Austin Federley couldn't get it out of his own end. Johnson turned it over to Favaro. Bucell skates it out, has Federley with him. Left wing side, Federley all the way across. Johnson collects it off the boards. Now to put it out in front, Bucell was knocked down, and Bernard able to hang on for a whistle and a face-off.
In groups, company outings, schools, churches, youth sports teams, you name it. There's always fun for your group at a Scarecrows game. Email Topeka Scarecrows.
We'll get a whistle and a face-off all the way down in Sammy Bernard's end. Bernard 4-1 this season. His only loss came to the Port Huron Prowlers at McMorran Place, and in that game, his team was unable to score a goal for him. Now 3-0 Port Huron win. Reed Cooper, that was his second shutout of the season. Neither goaltender will be getting one of those tonight. Smith couldn't bring in the pass. Brockway puts it right back deep. Whalen takes a look over his shoulder, put it right into Anderson. Now James couldn't handle it off the wall. High flip out, flag down by Brockway. Chipped ahead, James got it into the offensive zone before it's sent right back out. Parsons slipped it ahead. Lecumbus with a dump in. Prowlers getting a change, back comes Whalen. Smith off his stick. Now the Prowlers with a chance, but that pass didn't connect. A little bit of the ping pong hockey here as neither team's getting offensive zone possession. Lockhart centered, and Hakala hit the crossbar. Stretch pass. 1-on-2 here And knocked down to the ice was Hunter Hall, one of the newest Scarecrows. Bazal throws on the brakes as Hakela going to net, sent it there, juggled and held by Sammy Bernard. Hunter Hall in his Scarecrows debut, acquired from Baton Rouge back on November the 10th for a couple of players. You may be surprised to find out that Hunter Hall is another former Motor City Rocker on this Topeka club. Under 7 to go in period 1. Off this faceoff, Anderson dove for it. Here come the Scarecrows. Lind wheeling up, poked off his stick. Anderson turns it right back up the other way. Turning back, centering feed. DeCumbus on his backhand, couldn't get it all the way to the net. Lind handed it off, and in low shot swallowed up by Cooper. Enlow looking for his first pro goal as Parsons has to be separated from a Scarecrow. Cooper out aggressively at the top of his crease to shut that one down. Scarecrows again wearing specialty purple jerseys tonight for cancer awareness. Prowlers will hold their Taking a Shot at Breast Cancer game coming up in March. So a little bit further down the schedule. That will be March the 21st. Austin Federley able to make a steal off the faceoff, trying to send Price on his way. Instead, Topeka able to dump it back in. Cooper left it for Favaro. Tapped ahead. Bucell tried to return it to Federley, got stuck in some snow right in front of the benches. That puck just didn't move, and Bucell able to dump it in. Price got in front of a pass. Johnson at the point, taking a look towards net, floats it there, save Bernard. Juicy rebound came right to Topeka. Prowlers keep it alive. Bucell for Anderson. Spinning, cycled for Bucell. DeCumbus out there as well. Bucell sent it right back down low. Nerwinski and DeCumbus tied up. Puck right underneath. They dig away as Port Huron finishes a change. Oregon kept it in, floated it on net, stick save. Bernard. Anderson trying to turn the corner. Back pass, Oregon takes a look in front and looking for a Morick stick. Lockhart works back in, Prowlers with numbers. Lockhart drops off, Morick rose it too tall. Well, Brett Morick, about a week after he scored his first pro goal, looking for number 2. Anderson picks Smith's pocket. Morick in deep. Working against Papa Petro. Smith comes back for the puck, and he took a hit. Checo passed it out. Now Brockway takes over for the Prowlers after a missed feed. Tipped along, Graham looking towards the net. Passed it to Hakela. His shot stopped by Bernard, sliding to his right. And back up come the Scarecrows, but Smith couldn't control it. And Brockway dumped it in from his own side of center, so that will be an icing, and we will take our final timeout of the period. 1-1, our score from Topeka. We'll be back on the PHP Network.
Yeah, I don't know about this one, fellas.
Boys, we don't overcome adversity by backing down. But yeah, I don't know about this one.
That's reassuring.
We're so screwed.
All right, boys, here's the game plan. LJ, you start with bananas.
Wait, why do I have to do the bananas?
Because you're the softest on the team.
I don't want the bananas.
This thing is gonna melt. We gotta hurry up.
I won't do it.
Okay, both of you. I will do the bananas and the whipped cream. Fets, please continue.
Who's paying for this anyway?
I am. I just bought my tickets for the Prowlers game this weekend, and the Milkhouse gave me 25% off my order.
Fets, why'd you buy the tickets? You're literally on the team.
For the discount.
So are you all ready to give it a try?
Oh, we're ready.
It's true.
Get 25% off your entire order at the Milkhouse, October through April. Simply show your ticket stubs at checkout and enjoy your discounted treat.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Back here in Topeka, 4.5 to go in period one, tied up at a goal apiece. Will Wiggleman back here with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for staying up late with us back there in Eastern Time. Hour later puck drop tonight, 8:05 p.m. Eastern, 7:05 local time. Prowlers got the first goal. The Scarecrows, the tying goal. Theirs was a power play marker as Papa Petros' shot was gloved by Cooper's. It was going a couple feet wide anyway.
It's time for the Club Car Wash dirtiest car on the line, sponsored by our friends at Club Car Wash. Someone here is going to win a free car wash tonight.
We'll try it again with top line for Topeka. Hakela gets to it. Off the glass. And it came through. Here's Graham chasing after along with Papa Petros. Graham centered it. Hakela shot. Kick save, Bernard. Price looking for it. Now Johnson got it down deep. Prowlers need a change. Kicked out, but right to Graham. He'll get off the ice after passing it off. Austin Federley works in, head up. Sent it down deep. Bucell working on Papa Petros. Off to Federley. Throws on the brakes, drops off for Bucell, trying to turn the corner at the top, but the puck escaped the zone. Johnson wheeling up the left wing side. Alex Johnson from the all the way around the net. Left it off. Brett Morick. Now down to Tacoma. Back in front, Morick. They dig away. Puck still loose. And Bernard finally able to gather it in and cover up. And then Morick gave one last whack towards Bernard. Connor Lind has his glove off. At least one, maybe both. Indeed both. He'll have to recollect his gloves, and we'll see if anything comes of this. Brett Morick driving hard to the crease here. And I think the whistle was blown here, and Morick gave one last whack a little bit late. And that's what Lind was upset about. You see on our Elite Electric replay. Morick back to the visor tonight after spending the better part of the last month with a full cage on after a facial injury following a fight the last time these two teams met. Austin Federley and TJ Sneath having a conversation with one of the referees. Referees tonight are Jesse Burns and Dan Huntington. The linesmen Dillian Dale and Michael Geckler. Off the face-off, Graham tried to push it back to the point, but Wilson stepped in front. Oregon quick up towards Graham. He didn't get a stick on it, but Bernard came out to play it, so no icing. Bazal trying to cause some trouble. He did. Caused a turnover. Graham tried to center it off a stick, and the pass intended for Clark was out of his reach. Headman feed for Hakela. Has Bazal going to net. Hakela shot in and out of the glove of Bernard, and Bazal couldn't find it to try and get another whack. Bavaro with help coming off the bench. Tried to feed it up to Federley, but intercepted by Sneath. Fed around this way. Price waiting for it. Popped it out to Favaro. On for Price. Wheeling on the right wing. Bobby Price gets to the forehand save. Rebound. Cleared away by Checo. Federley got it back down to the corner. Prowlers cycling once again. Bucell and Price digging away. Price stole it from Checo. Federley one-timer. That one wouldn't go. Price back over towards Bucell. He was tied up with Norwinski, who ended up with the puck. And the Scarecrows get it out, courtesy of Hall. Johnson off the glass. Bucell spun back, gave it to Price. Working in. Price off to Favaro, jumping in! And he may have caught iron. Anderson couldn't win that battle. 1:20 left to go in period one. Tecumseh able to just sweep it out of danger to the boards. Now Brockway over to Favaro. High flip out of the zone. Kept alive. Koash back in, tied up by Anderson.
1 minute remaining in the first period.
And they will blow that one down for an offside against the Topeka Scarecrows.
Fans, don't forget to get your chocolate.
Coming up in the first intermission report right here on the PHP Network, we will send it back to our McMorran Place studios where Brady Beaton is standing by for some highlights and analysis. Also look at some storylines from around the league, out-of-town scores, and much more. So keep it locked in here on the PHP Network. Koash working it up. His pass behind his intended target. So that's another icing against the Scarecrows. Face-off will come all the way down to their end, and we'll see who Chris Paulin decides to send out for this. He has his top D pairing out there right now. Johnson, who has 15 points in 15 games, and Nick Favaro, the hottest Prowler right now on a 6-game point streak, had 2 helpers on Wednesday against Indiana. This one sent all the way down. Hustling after it is Inlow. Throws on the brakes looking for a pass. He'll just cycle it around the net towards Koash and Johnson. Koash couldn't pull it towards the cage. Inlow down to Koch. His centering feed taken away, and Hakela just tosses it out. 20 seconds left to go in the Munger Physical Therapy first period. Koch wheeling in. Koch trying to split the D, drew a penalty. So Topeka will go to their second power play of the period with 10.4 seconds left to go in it. We'll see who's heading to the box. Looks like Nick Favaro, the one who's going in that direction on the slashing call. Brett Morick in for an important face-off win, or important face-off. If he can get the win here and the Prowlers can get the clear, they can reset for period 2. We shall see. And now Alex Johnson being escorted to the penalty box, and Nick Favaro gets to leave. So they had the wrong guy. Sneath able to get it back with help from Wilson. Papa Petros walks. Good step by Lockhart in front of that pass. Lockhart rims it around. 2 seconds to go. Sent towards the net. Blocked. And that will do it for period 1. 1 goal apiece through 20 minutes. And the Scarecrows will have a long power play when we come back for period number 2. Shots on goal in that opening frame favoring the Prowlers 18-6 according to the big board here at Landon Arena. And they are tied up at 1 goal apiece. Both goaltenders sharp in that opening frame. Again, 1:50 of power play time coming for the Scarecrows when we return for period 2. Once again, coming up in the first intermission report right here on the PHP Network, we will send it back to Brady Beaton for some highlights and analysis from that opening 20 minutes. If you liked missed passes, you may have liked that opening 20. Otherwise, tough to watch at times as We got some ping pong hockey back and forth. Brady will break it all down for us. We'll also take a look at some storylines from around the league, out-of-town scores, and much more. It's all coming up right here on the PHP Network. Welcome to Wings Etc. Check out the Port Huron Prowlers Coaches Show every other Wednesday. Next Coaches Show this Wednesday, December the 3rd, 6:30 p.m. We will have a Prowlers coach, we will have a Prowlers player, and you can check it out live only at Wings Etc. or you can watch the live stream right here on the PHP Network. But the Prowlers Coaches Show is the best way to get the inside look, a little bit of non-traditional interviews, more of a podcast format, a lot more conversational, a lot more fun. You can get your questions in to the player and coach who are there on the show with me. Should be a lot of fun. It always is a lot of fun at Wings Etc. and the Prowlers Coaches Show. And there are giveaways if you do make it there live. So be sure to come out again to the Prowlers Coaches Show this Wednesday, December the 3rd at 6:30 p.m. I hope to see you there. Prowlers and Scarecrows tied up at a goal apiece through 20 minutes of play. We'll be right back here on the PHP Network.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold. Hungry Howie's.
Congratulations on your engagement again, man. You know, you should get some life insurance.
I never really thought about that. How would I do that?
We can help you with that at Zach Egan State Farm. Congratulations on getting married, man. Have you gotten a house?
We just got one, actually, yeah.
Well, if you want, we can help you out with life insurance at Zach Egan State Farm to cover your mortgage. Is Olin a year old now?
He is.
Wow. Have you guys got life insurance set up on him yet?
I haven't even thought about it yet.
Oh.
How would I go about that?
Well, we can help you with that at Zach Egan State Farm. High five?
Yeah, and we should have gotten life insurance years ago.
Hey, Ken. We've actually got a policy for people your age at Zach Egan State Farm. Give us a call.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Explore the 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron. That is Michigan's Thumb Coast. Discover charming coastal towns, serene beaches, and endless outdoor adventures. Stay at cozy hotels, paddle through pristine blue waters, and hit the fairways along breathtaking views. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Back here on the PHP Network, Brady Beaton here with you live at the McMorran Studios as the first period has concluded 1-1 the score after 20 minutes of play. And as Will talked about, a little bit of sloppiness, maybe a little bit of working off that holiday turkey. Let's take a look at what happened in that first period. Scoring got started early with Port Huron. The first pro goal for Connor Bazal. You see the rebound as he's right place, right time, and some nifty hands to put the Prowlers on the board. Always feels good to get the first. Only had 1 point on the season coming into this one. He gets the scoring started early, but then Topeka, an opportunistic team like they've been all year, when they take a penalty, when they get on the power play, they are able to take advantage of it. Here's the call on how they got it. Brian Parsons would get called for a hook down low. He's on the right side of your screen in the circle. And as Topeka cycles it through the zone, you see down low that hook right there, enough for the right arm of the official to go up. And that would send Port Huron on the penalty kill, and Topeka taking advantage of it and able to net their first goal of the night. And you can see right here, Connor Lind, I mean, that's 80-90% of the goal mouth wide open. There was not a lot of help there for Port Huron and for Reed Cooper. No more scoring the rest of the period, but as always, Port Huron, they play with the edge, and sometimes things boil over. And here you see near the end of the period, some scuffles down in front of the Topeka net, pushing and shoving, and that push from the left side got things going. And nobody on that Prowler bench is going to let anything slide by. And there's the first mini scuffle. And then at the end of the period, it ends with a penalty to Alex Johnson that puts Port Huron on the penalty kill again, going into period number 2. There you see the penalty, and immediately the officials on top of it. And the first period would come to an end with the score 1-1. So, and Will did mention again, things may be a little sluggish, but that's kind of to be expected. Listen, after a holiday at 3-3, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And for Port Huron, it's 4 out of 5. So to get there, I mean, they got in town today about 10, 11 o'clock local time in Topeka. So they drove through the night, got there. And sometimes, I mean, it is a real thing in the FPHL, those bus legs, trying to get off the bus and get things going. It was a good thing to see Connor Bazal get the scoring started early for Port Huron. Now, can they stay out of the box when they play with that edge? And it's a very fine line to walk, but Prowlers fans at home know what I'm talking about. When they walk that line just right, they play with enough edge and they can bully opponents around, and it leads to them scoring, and it leads to them shutting them down in their own end. But when they take the step over the line is when they find themselves in the box and they find themselves down a man, and they're using all their energy to kill penalties instead of focusing on scoring. We'll have more for you on the intermission report here from the McMorran Studios. Let's take a break. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey right here on the PHP Network.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorran experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Back here on the PHP Network, Brady Beaton here in a very quiet and dark McMorran Arena. One period in the books between Topeka and your Port Huron Prowlers, deadlocked at 1. But as we take a look at the game stats, one spot where you are going to see a huge disparity is shots on goal. Port Huron out shooting Topeka 18-6, and you look at that, and your initial thought is, wow, Port Huron should be dominating this game. They should be way up. I mean, again, you're out shooting Topeka by 3 times the amount. But over this 4-game winning streak for Topeka, shots on goal have not been the name of their game. It has been quality over quantity for Topeka. In the last 4 games, they only averaged 32 shots per game, and that includes a game where they had 50 against the Indiana Sentinels. They give up about 35 shots in a game. In that winning streak against Baton Rouge, they were outshot 50-24 and still found a way to pull out a win. If you're looking for what they did against Port Huron in the 6 periods, here in McMorran Place, when they came to Port Huron, they only averaged 8.3 shots per period. So Topeka, they take advantage of their opportunities. They're very they're not going to just throw pucks on net. When they get shots, it's going to, more often than not, and it has over the last 4 games, result in goals. One other fun fact for you: this is the first time ever a Port Huron pro team has played a game in the state of Kansas. One other time before this season, a team from Topeka and a team from Port Huron matched up, not at the pro ranks in the NAHL. It was the Fighting Falcons that went to, it was actually the opening tournament out in Minnesota. They played on neutral ice. So the first time Port Huron has ever gone to Kansas and played in a game. Obviously, Topeka came here earlier in the year. Port Huron had a lot of success. Again, see how Port Huron can kill off the penalty early in the second period, and if they can make their opportunities count a little more than Topeka. That'll wrap us up from McMorran Place. We'll go back to Will in Topeka, Kansas right after this. You're watching the PHP Network.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorran experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Back here in Topeka, Prowlers and Scarecrows tied up at a goal apiece. Thank you, Brady, back there in our McMorran Place studios. Before we continue on in this one, let's take a look around the league, and we start with some storylines from around the FPHL. Not too much time between the last time we talked and tonight, just Wednesday to Friday, but a few things did happen, and we start with the Danbury Hat Tricks juggling their goaltending a little bit as they re-signed Kyle Penton, who started the year with Danbury, actually made his first pro start against the Port Huron Prowlers, did fall in opening weekend in Danbury, but they released Christian Wong Ramos and they bring back Kyle Penton. Of course, Sebastian Risar has broken out as the clear starting goaltender in Danbury. We'll see if Penton can get into that rotation along with Risar and Frankie McClendon. Ivan Ponovanov finally is getting to Indiana. He was acquired via a trade in September. Of course, the league has had plenty of visa-related issues. Not sure if that was the reasoning there or what the reasoning may have been, but Ponovanov will finally start to suit up for the Sentinels as he signed today. And again, he was acquired via trade in September, but as a man comes in, one has to go out, and that was Brendan Spinelli for the Sentinels. Also Dustin Perlack going from Blue Ridge, both of them heading down to the Gulf Coast as the Biloxi Breakers add both Spinelli and Perlack amidst a number of moves from the Breakers, releasing a lot of players, many of whom had not played a game this season and had not planned on playing a game this season for the Breakers. But those two added to the Biloxi blue line as the Breakers team tries to continue to dig itself out of the bottom part of that Continental Division. Let's keep going around the league as we take a look at our out-of-town scoreboard. And we start with the Columbus River Dragons and the PD Ice Cats. They're nearing the end of period number 2 in South Carolina. Dominic Marcinkovic has the goal for PD. Ryan Hunter, the tally for the Dragons. It is 1-1 as they approach the second intermission. They're late in period 2 in Danbury. Hat tricks up 3-1 on the Twin City Thunderbirds. Johnny Ruiz, Alexander Leikov got the scoring started in the first for the hat tricks. Zach White responded for Twin City, but Vadim Frolov, fresh off his 2-game suspension, was able to make it a 3-1 game in the second. Speaking of the team that Frolov got the infraction that got him suspended against, that was the Binghamton Black Bears. They're on the road in Watertown. About midway through that game, Black Bears up 2-1. Austin Thompson and Zach Sirota, who's fresh off the IR, have the goals for the Black Bears. Quinn Shevers, the tally for Watertown, and that one a 2-1 Black Bears lead in the second. Also in the second period, the Indiana Sentinels finished off a long road stretch. Now they're back home. They're playing a tight one against the Blue Ridge Bobcats, as Kyle Heitzner, who's back from his SPHL stint, has a goal for Blue Ridge, as does Brandon Reller and Robin Erickson. Max Merrick Tortorella has both for the Indiana Sentinels as they battle in period number 2. Finally, the aforementioned Biloxi Breakers are at the end of the first period in Baton Rouge. Dmitry Kuznetsov and Richard Durina scored for the Zydeco. Caden Henry, one of the league leaders in goals and points so far this season. He has the only tally for the Breakers. That one 2-1 through 20 minutes. Zydeco trying to get their second win of the season. Of course, here it is 1-1 between the Prowlers and the Topeka Scarecrows. Let's take one more look at the game stats in case you're just getting back to your screen here, as the Prowlers dominated the Scarecrows on shots 18-6. Topeka 1 for 1 on the man advantage. They still will have nearly 2 minutes of power play time. Minute 50 is what's on the clock here at Landon Arena for Alex Johnson's slashing call. And that is what the Prowlers will have to kill off as we get set to begin the Hungry Howie's second period here in Topeka with our score 1-1. We'll take one more break. When we come back, they drop the puck on period 2 here on the PHP Network.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PHProwlers, and Twitter at PHProwlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Prowlers hockey. Teams hitting the ice for period number 2 at Landon Arena at the Stormont Vale Event Center in Topeka, Kansas. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. We thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Reed Cooper getting set in the goal crease down to our left. Made 5 saves on 6 shots by the Scarecrows. On the other side, Sammy Bernard down the goal crease to our right. He stopped 17 of 18 Prowler opportunities. Johnson continues to sit in the box for a minute and 50 more seconds. Scarecrows send out their top power play unit, led by TJ Sneath. He will draw against Brett Morick to begin period number 2. And we are underway in the Hungry Howie's second period. Papa Petros. Up to the right wing side to Wilson. Rims it all the way around. Favaro gets there first. He was the one who originally thought he had the penalty. He was sitting in the box, and then they switched it to Alex Johnson, as the Prowlers able to fire it all the way down. Period of the long change, so Oregon had to really hustle to the bench, but Topeka slow to move up ice now. Papa Petros, Wilson, lead pass. And this is an icing called against the Scarecrows. Up this face off. Lind working up. Bounced around, and Blake Anderson starts up. Now he gets it off to Bucell, right wing side. Prowlers in short-handed, and Lockhart didn't get much on the shot. Scarecrows trying to move the other way. They cannot, though. Now it's Wilson into the offensive end. Prowlers thought that might have been offsides, but the Scarecrows did keep it on. Under a minute to go on this power play for Topeka's. Lind shot knocked down by Cooper. Puck's behind the net. Koch got it across. Shot from the point off the post, as Wilson sent it right along the ice. Sneath, forehand, and Cooper looks behind, but he's got it squeezed to his body. 18 seconds left on this power play for Topeka. They take another look at that chance for Sneath. Didn't shoot it right away. Gave Cooper a chance to set up, and the Prowlers collapsed right on him. Johnson standing in the visitors' penalty box. Off the faceoff, Norwinski just able to keep it in at the line, chopped at, right to Tecumseh, stretch pass, looking for Morick. And now Morick backhanded right on, as Bernard almost misplayed it there. Koch wheeling back up. Koch centering feed, rolls right to Cooper, and he'll cover up. Got Koash being given a rough ride in the goal crease by Morick, who's then knocked down from behind by a Scarecrow, and then Price takes down that Scarecrow, and we'll see if penalties come from this. Prowlers bench giving stick taps to their teammates for standing up for each other, and that's exactly what this culture is for Port Huron. Everybody's sticking up for everyone. And you see Price gave Koash the shove, and then another Scarecrow came in behind and took down Price, or Morick, pardon me, and then Price took down that Scarecrow. Nobody getting penalties here. We stay 5 aside. Off the face-off, Brockway trying to bounce it around. They work it up the near side. Hakala with Bazal. Fires it in. Gagnon after it. Hakala there as well, as Gagnon quickly reversed it. Smith up for Hall. Hall's long-range shot juggled and covered by Cooper, and the Prowlers keeping Topeka away from Reed Cooper once again. Meeting of the minds again by the Prowler goal crease. And again, a great symptom of, and symptom certainly sounds like a negative, but symptom in a positive way, that the Prowlers have the type of culture that they continue to stick up for one another, and that if you see a guy anywhere near that blue paint, you will see at least 1 or 2 white jerseys there to meet him. Cooper covers up, and Brian Parsons proves my point. Prowlers making a quick change here. They'll get a fresh 5 out. Jamie Bucell tasked to win a defensive zone faceoff against TJ Sneath. Off the draw, Favaro wheels around behind the net. Bounced it up in Price's direction. Price off the glass, high flip out. Federley after it, bouncing puck. Federley lost an edge. Whalen able to play it off to Wilson. Favaro regroups. Johnson towards Price, had to sidestep a check. Favaro wants some more. Backhanded in by Wilson. Cooper had it go over his stick. Sneath centered it right in front. Only Prowlers there as Cooper scrambled back to the blue paint. Favaro up this way. Came out in front. Price rescues it for the Prowlers. Stops up and gave it to Bucell, who's 1-on-2. Prowlers at the end of a long shift here. Federley played it back towards Bucell, popped up. Johnson able to settle it down. Now Favaro looking for an outlet towards Bucell. Missed him, but James will win the race to beat out the icing. That allows the rest of his team to change. Topeka flies back up with numbers. Lind lost the puck. Chopped towards the net by Koch. So the Scarecrows don't even get a shot on goal on that rush. James off the boards. Comes all the way down. Blaisdell plays it off to Koash. Taken away. Tecumseh's backhander. Save Bernard. Koch hard off the glass. Hit a stanchion. Came right back to him. Don't see that too often. Koch off for Koash. Off his skates. Comes all the way in. Cooper will cover it with the glove as he had in low flying in towards him. Just over 4. My goodness. 4 minutes gone here in the second period. Shots 20-10 according to our in-arena shot clock, and that's in favor of the Prowlers. Corey Checo will draw against Vinny Tecumseh. Off the face-off, quick shot save, Cooper. As Hunter Hall looking for his first point as a Scarecrow. Gagnon harassed by Anderson. Checo throws on the brakes. Lost it for a moment, popped high up in the air, glove down. Chopped along by Organ, right into Checo. Works in, his shot missed the net. Norwinski hustled to keep it alive at the point. Avery Smith backpedaling, watched by Hakala. Fed it to the Prowler blue line. Gagnon throws on the brakes. Spins, gave it off. Norwinski's one-timer. Not sure if that got all the way through to Cooper or not. Plenty of traffic right in front. Prowlers lofted out, and then Norwinski fires it right. The Port Huron bench stayed in play. Hakala spun back, waiting for help. To the point, Johnson walks, gives off to Bazal. Quick shot over top of the net from Bucell. after the little tip pass from Connor Bazal. Bavaro chopped at it. Knocked down. Bucell beats Sneath to the puck. Couldn't get it up to Price though. Centering pass for Sneath off a stick. Federley. Pass was between Johnson and Bucell. Johnson will take it. And then he ran into Clark as he made the pass. Comes all the way back down. Whalen with the Prowlers in the midst of a change. Plays it to an area. Papa Petros to Clark. Looking for an outlet. Home run pass cut off by Parsons. Has to wait for his team to get back on side. Whalen moved it up and out. DeCumbis stick handling away from a few Scarecrows. Ended up losing the puck. Cooper behind his net. Plays it for Brian Parsons. Here comes Morick. Off to Anderson. Trying to push his way by. Anderson gets back to the puck. Spun away from a check. DeCumbis looking in front. Morick catch and shoot, just ripped it wide. Anderson knocked down as he was going for that puck. And a penalty called by the back referee. Prowlers look like they're getting their first man advantage of the night. Extra conversations at the end of that play, but Blake Anderson was taken down heading towards the puck. I believe that is the penalty. We will find out for sure when we come back here on the PHP Network. Looking for a game day meal? Head over to Zip Sauce Burger, located in the Industrial Park Marathon. Zip Sauce, the official burger of the Port Huron Prowlers. Doug Blaisdell in the box. We take one last look at that penalty of the good chance there for Brett Morick. Blaisdell knocked down Anderson as he was heading after the puck. They have not officially given me the call here yet, but we do know it is a Prowlers power play, their first of the night. And they will have to chase back in the neutral zone. 1 for 3 on Wednesday against Indiana. The steal by Wilson, tried to go in shorthanded but stumbled. And this will be the end of the Prowlers power play. So just as quick as it started, the man advantage is over. And Nick Favaro in the box. As Favaro took down Wilson after he stole the puck. That took only 10 seconds, so we'll get 4-on-4 for 1 minute and 50 seconds.
Toward Huron penalty number 2, Nicholas Favaro. 2 minutes for tripping. Time for penalty 6:51.
Prowlers set it up. The left wing to Price. Makes a move with Anderson. Price slows up, cuts to the middle. Out to Organ. Tried to leave it off for Price, but Whalen kicked it out of the zone. Both teams start some changes. Organ wheeling back up. Sent it up to Lockhart leading the rush. Lockhart takes a look, missed it wide. The carom comes all the way around, and a 2-on-1 for the Scarecrows. Sneath works in to Koch. Swung and missed on the one-timer. And now the Prowlers with a counter, 2-on-2. Anderson with Bucell. His shot shouldered away by Bernard. Koch slows things down. Watched by Hakala. Off to the right wing side, Gagnon gave it up to Koash. Left wing Koch. Parsons gets there ahead of Koash. Trying to take the puck is Scott Koash. Johnson took a hard hit from Koch. Caused the turnover. Koch stops up behind the net. Play it to an area. Only Vinny DeCumbis there. 14 seconds left until this becomes a very brief Scarecrows power play. Here's DeCumbis turning the corner. Center down in front. Save Bernard on Artu Hakala. Brockway takes a look up at the clock and he dumps it down deep just as the Scarecrows go to the power play. And this will be an unsuccessful Topeka man advantage as Luke James pinned the puck in the far corner. Back to 5-on-5. Koash flips it out, glove down by Organ. Played off to the near side. James left it for Federley, tried to return it off of Lynn's skate. Organ faked the drive, went down low with it. Lynn turns it the other way, has Wilson breaking. Lynn will backhand it in deep. Cooper left it for Organ, fired all the way around and whistles blow. Arm is up in the air for a penalty. And Austin Federley being sent to the box here.
It's time for another Ace Electric Power Play!
Tripping the call is, yes, Federley tripped up that Scarecrow as he sent it into the offensive zone. You saw there on the replay in the neutral zone. Scarecrows to their 4th power play of the night. Watch Federley. Right there, he throws the check. Oh, then he clipped him with his skate, and that's what the call is. They must have clipped him skate to skate. The Prowlers kept into the box, and the Scarecrows 1 for 3 on the man advantage, although really that third one was about 10 seconds. And Topeka has thrown the net off, which is not exactly a great plan if you're in the offensive zone. Connor Lind got a little too close to the cage as he was trying to set up next to the Reed Cooper. Face-off will come outside of the Prowlers' end. Clark will draw against Morick. They have Koash split out wide over by the benches and nobody lined up on the right wing. Or on the left wing, I should say. They get it to Koash. He wraps it around. Cooper will leave it for Favaro, and he floats it all the way down. Gagnon. Fed up to Smith at the blue line. His shot swallowed up by Cooper. And he'll hang on for a whistle and a face-off. 30 seconds gone in this Topeka power play. Got a face-off to Cooper's left. Price and Sneath set to draw. Off the face-off, it's pinned. And Brockway able to find it and fire it all the way down. Good handoff from Bobby Price. Papa Petros up towards Koch. That was out of his reach, and there's an icing against the Scarecrows on the power play. One of those things you'd never want to do is an icing on the power play. We should be heading to a timeout here. Prowlers recognize it before the referees do. And now players recognizing it, and we will take our timeout. Tied at 1, rest of the Topeka power play coming up on the other side.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
Explore 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron in Michigan's Thumb Coast. Begin your adventure on a blanket of golden sand at one of our serene beaches. Connect with the historic atmosphere of our region's nautical influence and reconnect with friends under a blanket of stars. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Back here in Topeka, it is 1-1 between the Prowlers and the Scarecrows. Topeka still with a long time left on their power play, but they've just iced the puck. So the Prowlers will get a face-off all the way down in Sammy Bernard's end, and a chance to try and get their first short-handed goal of the season. One of 3 teams left in the league without a shorty, along with the Biloxi Breakers and the Twin City Thunderbirds. Topeka controls off the draw, and they'll start a breakout. Wilson gets to the red line, working in, poked off his stick, and that disrupts the play enough for an offside. Killed about 13 seconds. And a face-off right in front of the Scarecrows bench, headed up by Robbie Nichols. Took over, of course, as the first head coach in Scarecrows history. He's done a great job so far. Topeka coming in 7-3, 2 of those losses to the Prowlers at McMorran Place. Justin Schmidt, his assistant coach, sometimes a player, but not on the ice tonight. Cam Clark blew a tire at the blue line, and that meant the Scarecrows had to come back and touch up and gave the Prowlers a chance to clear. 30 seconds left on the power play. A home run pass it to Clark, and a save made by Reed Cooper. Smith centered it. Gagnon got it back down deep. Smith took a hit from Favaro. 10 seconds left on the penalty. As the shot came in, it hit Smith. One last clear, and Federley is set to step out of the box.
Port Huron full strength.
Scarecrows power play drops to 1 for 4. We stay tied 1-1. As we have 8 minutes left to go in the second period. Gagnon, head fake around Parsons before he's stapled to the corner glass by Parsons and Price. 3 Prowlers, 2 Scarecrows digging away. Pops out, poke to the middle. Stepping up as Whalen had his shot blocked in the second opportunity, taken away by Anderson. DeCumbis got the first one as he closed the gap. DeCumbis able to block that one. Here comes Vinny DeCumbis trying to gain a step, but Smith knocked it off his stick. And then Smith got his stick up on DeCumbis. Prowlers want a penalty they won't get. Those two still battling. Smith has shed one glove. DeCumbis has shed neither. And now Smith has shed his other glove. DeCumbis still has not shed one. Smith continues to want after Vinny DeCumbis. And the referees pull them apart. Avery Smith is going to the box at the very least. We'll see if Vinny DeCumbis joins him. Looks like right now he will not. This may be a Prowlers power plays. Watch Smith and DeCumbis battling, and neither of them ended up going for that puck, and they continued the pushing and shoving. There goes one glove for Smith. And there goes the other, Vinny DeCumbis with no interest.
Scarecrows going back on the new penalty kill.
And Avery Smith heading to the box. This will be the Prowlers' second power play of the night. Two minutes up for Smith, and I assume it is roughing. Prowlers send out the Blake Anderson-led unit with Bucell, Price, Organ, and Lockhart. After the first unit only got 10 seconds before taking a penalty on their last power play. Anderson able to bounce it down to the corner. Bucell set it up for Anderson on the half wall. Anderson weaves to the middle, had it knocked off his stick. Lockhart banks it back down deep. Comes up this way, and Oregon just able to keep it alive at the line. Price with 2 Scarecrows on him. Oregon got it down low. Prowlers playing with it around the outside. See if they can get something to the net here. Bucell steps up to the top, floats it across to Oregon. Lockhart wanted the one-timer. He has the puck now. They'll fire it back down around once again. Almost halfway through this Prowlers power play. Lots of outside work, and Sneath able to clear the zone. He'll try and go off for a change. Meanwhile, Anderson flying back in. Slows things down. Try to pass back to Johnson, hit Bucell. And that's as good as a Topeka clear, as they'll get a couple more penalty killers off. Stretched on towards Graham, off his skate, and Bernard clamps the glove on top for a whistle and a face-off. 38 seconds left to go on a Prowlers power play that has not gotten much going yet. Other unit out there right now, it's Graham, Johnson, Federley, Hakela, and Favaro. Now Matt Graham being asked to leave the face-off. Actually, they'll let Graham take it. Pop to the middle of the ice. Whalen plays it to the corner, gets it himself. Poked it only as far as Favaro will put it back on net. And Bernard able to catch that one in the breadbasket. 32 seconds left on the penalty to Avery Smith, and the Prowlers finally get an attempt towards the net. Whalen around this side. Koch waited for it. He swung and missed as the puck was bouncing. Here's Favaro with a look down to Federley. His saucer pass back to Favaro eluded him, and the Prowlers will have to chase. Koch trying to get there first. Cooper reverses around this way. Favaro left it back for Alex Johnson. Final seconds ticking off this Prowlers man advantage. Johnson works back in. On his backhand centering feed, Hakela couldn't get a good touch on it. Here comes Topeka. They stretch it on for Smith. Walking in, pulled up, left it for Koch. Backdoor play. That was blocked up. And now Graham floats it up to Federley. One-on-one Papa Petros. He waits. Federley towards the net, blocked by Smith. Koash. Reverse up the near side boards for Avery Smith. Tried to lead it out. Instead, it's Brockway on to James. Smith retrieves in his own end once more. Trying to hustle up ice. Pass across, hit James. He and a Scarecrow overskated it. Morick back to Parsons. Right up the gut looking for James. Pass was behind him. And no icing here. The Prowlers do get a change as Whalen fires to the red line. Couple players tie up along the boards. Lockhart got it in Price's direction. Wilson back down deep. Feels like a sloppy game from up here. Prowlers and Scarecrows still tied at 1. And Price overskated that puck. High flip, bouncing in towards Cooper. Lockhart got it off the glass. Norwinski putting it right back to Prowler territory. Under 5 to play in period 2. Here's Price working on Gagnon one-on-one. Price drops it off. Bucell back in front looking for Price. And he just couldn't connect. Norwinski couldn't chip it by Hakala. Organ. Indirect pass. Bazal chips it in off the glass. Gagnon taken in by Hakala. Push to the near side. Hall couldn't get it out. Favaro. Wrister deflected by Graham off the back glass. Graham got a touch on it right there at the top of the blue paint. Anderson retreats back to his own end, trying to get some space. His team finishing up a change. Rink-wide feed is for Anderson. Gets by one man. Anderson drops it. James, his shot off of Blaisdell's stick. And it caroms around. Here comes Hall. Prowlers getting back in numbers. Hall chips it by. Cooper sweeps it away. Smith trying to come in and get a slapper off. Hall tried to stuff it. Comes back to the corner. DeCumbis out towards James. He took a hard hit, but DeCumbis has the puck. Working in on Lind. Off the back wall. Checo the other direction. 3 Prowlers back. Checo from the outside, muscled to the glass by Parsons. Price pulls it out of the scrum. Played it to an area. Blaisdell blocked by Bucell. Whalen. Hard hit there by Jamie Bucell in on the forecheck. Koch played it to the middle. Blaisdell had to come back for it, and now it's Whalen once again. Up towards Koch. Brockway retrieves in his own end. Koch had it go past him. Prowlers trying to force it up the near side boards. They get it out. Bucell, cross corner dump. Lots of time without a whistle. We're under 2 to go in period 2. Koash had it poked off his stick by Bazal. Pops out. And it's Koch working up the other way. Morgan kept it moving before he was knocked down. Whalen fed it up. Here's Koash, a shot rising over top of the cage. I think Cooper got the blocker on it. Lockhart up to Bazal. Sends out Graham. Has Morick with him. Graham hustling in. Graham looking for a passing option. Spun it back. Bazal had it poked off his stick, and Favaro has to retreat to the neutral zone. Johnson off to Favaro, right wing side. Favaro drops a shoulder, tried to feed across, couldn't do it. DeCumbis stole it. DeCumbis spinning. Back to Hakala. Couldn't get a shot away. It's in his skates. Poked to an area. DeCumbis swoops in. Had it knocked off his stick. Sneath off the glass and out. Johnson from the red line gets it right back around. 36 seconds left to go in period 2. Whalen chased out by Anderson. Made a pass off, blocked by Hakala. Papa Petros off the boards and out. 20 seconds left to go in period 2. Price weaves in. Price with help. Price with a shot. He scores! Bobby Price rips it home with 10.5 to go in period 2. After all of this back and forth action, with neither team really getting a good scoring chance, here comes Bobby Price weaving in. Little backhand, forehand, and a rip to the blocker's side of Sammy Bernard. And Bobby Price has his 4th of the year. Scarecrows will look for one last rush. They won't see one, so Nerwinski comes all the way back. Gagnon tosses it ahead, and that will do it. But it won't do it for the action, as Morick and Smith are tied up by the benches, and Smith going right after Brett Morick. It's a melee in front of the benches right now. And Avery Smith showing his jersey to the crowd. Take another look and see who started that. Well, Morick finishing his check on Avery Smith. Smith didn't like it. And the conversation's continuing at the red line between the two clubs. But the Prowlers will head off with a 2-1 lead. Although you see the referees heading over to the scorer's table to chat. We will find out at some point during this intermission, hopefully, if there are penalties. And we will bring that information to you. Coming up here on the second intermission report right here on the PHP Network. We'll have highlights and analysis from Brady Beaton back in our McMorran Place studios. Also take a look at the Prowlers' upcoming schedule, out-of-town scores, and much more. Now keep it locked in here on the PHP Network. And it felt like a sloppy period to me. We'll see what Brady Beaton has to say. And I'll ask certainly Chris Paulin about that after the game. Of course, you do have to stick around after these games because we do talk to Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin and our Gunther Graphics Player of the Game after every road game. We broadcast that here on the PHP Network. So be sure to stick around in the post-game show. But for right now, please do stick around here for the intermission report as we will take you there. Again, back to our McMorran Place studios with Brady Beaton in just a moment. Well, secure your seats for the Prowlers' next home game. That is the Teddy Bear Toss night. Specialty Christmas jerseys will make their appearance as well. That is coming up on Friday, December the 12th, 7:05 p.m. puck drop against the Indiana Sentinels. Puck drop is scheduled for, again, 7:05 p.m. Get your tickets at phprowlers.com/tickets or by phone at 810-985-6166 or scan that QR code on your screen now. It's online at phprowlers.com/tickets, by phone at 810-985-6166 or scan that QR code now to witness the new McMorran Place experience. And if you are new to minor league hockey or new to the Teddy Bear Toss concept, it is one of the great charitable traditions in minor league hockey. When the Prowlers score their first goal on December the 12th, hundreds, hopefully thousands, of teddy bears and other stuffed animals will rain down onto the ice. They will be cleaned up by our crew and donated to various local charities and hospitals to kids in need. So please get your tickets and grab your stuffed animals to toss them out there on the ice. Again, one of the most fun nights of the year and one of the greatest tests of how long I can talk and drone on between plays. We've seen plenty of opportunities for me to prove that ability this season, and we'll get another one, but we do hope you are in the building and tossing teddy bears. I will have a stuffed animal as well to toss, so at the very least, come and find out if I can reach the ice from the broadcast booth at McMorran Place. Once again, tickets at phprowlers.com/tickets. We will send it to our McMorran Place studios with Brady Beaton next here on the PHP Network.
Come on, guys, hop in.
We're not getting in that thing. That thing's gross.
Yeah, I wore my nice pants today. This thing could use a detail.
Well, I don't know. Do you know anybody who could detail a boat?
I think that guy could.
Hi, I'm Logan from Ballard's Detail. I can detail your boat.
From oxidized and faded to smooth and glossy, our professional compounding and waxing process will get your boat looking new again. Contact us today at 810-956-8318. Visit us on Facebook at Ballard's Detail LLC.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Hello, home.
There he is.
What is happening?
Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch?
Spicy.
Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite.
Can you stop?
Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack Wrap is back.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. That's a hope play. LJ, come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Head over to the Birchwood Mall for your shopping and entertainment needs. Hop on the carousel, shoot some hoops, or visit some of their great stores such as Gerlach's Woodworks, where they specialize in handcrafted wooden decorations. Add to your fan cave a Prowlers themed creation. Upgrade your bathroom at Luxury Bath Mobility Remodelers. They can fully customize your bath or shower to fit your needs, and they also do flooring. For the sports fan in your life, pick up a unique gift from Pro Edge Sports. Jam-packed with all kinds of memorabilia. There's something for everyone. And it's not a trip to the mall without Auntie Anne's pretzels. Grab a freshly made full-size cup of pretzel bites and wash it down with some frozen lemonade. At the Birchwood Mall, you can find this and more. Visit them on 24th Ave in Fort Gratiot.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go Prowlers!
Yeah, I don't know about this one, fellas.
Boys, we don't overcome adversity by backing down. But yeah, I don't know about this one.
That's reassuring.
We're so screwed.
All right, boys. Here's a game plan. LJ, you start with bananas. B-Way.
Wait, why do I have to do the bananas?
Because you're the softest on the team.
I don't want the bananas.
This thing is going to melt. We got to hurry up.
I won't do it.
Okay, both of you. I will do the bananas and the whipped cream. Fets, please continue.
Who's paying for this anyway?
I am. I just bought my tickets for the Prowlers game this weekend, and the Milkhouse gave me 25% off my order.
Fets, why'd you buy the tickets? You're literally on the team.
For the discount.
So are you all ready to give it a try?
Oh, we're ready.
It's true. Get 25% off your entire order at the Milkhouse, October through April. Simply show your ticket stubs at checkout and enjoy your discounted treat.
Back here at the McMorran Studios here on the PHP Network, your Prowlers leading Topeka 2-1 after 40 minutes of play. Prowlers trying to go to Kansas and get the win, the first of a 3-3. Let's take a look how we got here. We'll go all the way back to the first period when we got the scoring started with Connor Bazal, got the first goal of the game and his first of the season, his first of his career off a rebound, and he was pumped up to give Port Huron a 1-0 lead, although after a Brian Parsons penalty, the shot here was wide open and they were no chance for Reed Cooper. So we take it to the second period as both sides, not a lot going on. There were some big saves, but again, more of a feeling out process. Two very defensive minded teams that are going to protect their own zone before they go into the offensive end. So here we'll start with one of the handful of saves Reed Cooper made. Strong one, able to pin it to the right hip. And then this is where you started to see the tempers start to flare up a little bit. And a lot of this goes back a year or two. As Will has mentioned, a lot of former Motor City Rockers on this team, including guys like Avery Smith, who have had their fair share of tilts with Port Huron Prowlers. Topeka would take a penalty, and it looked like a prime opportunity for Port Huron to get the lead back. However, right after that, a tripping call just 10 seconds into the power play immediately negates it and puts us to even strength hockey. Reed Cooper again would stand tall, strong on a 2-on-1. Cooper is able to cut down the angle on coming across as nice work with the defenseman. He took the puck, and then the goalie took the other man. So Port Huron takes another penalty. That one not as bad as the other ones, but another power play for Topeka nevertheless. And again, tempers continue to rise. This is Vinny DeCumbis and Avery Smith. Again, two men that are not strangers to each other. Not quite a fight. The glove did come off for Avery Smith at first. Some pushing and shoving back and forth. It would put Smith in the penalty box. And again, things started to really heat up. Reed Cooper again kept us tied at 1. This time he went from left to right to make the stop to keep us deadlocked. And then Port Huron, right before the buzzer with 10 minutes left, watched him, walked him, split, and just picked the corner. A beautiful goal. And, well, of course, 10 seconds, you think you're going to go to intermission, everything's going to be all right. Well, a little fisticuffs here as the period comes to an end. We'll have more for you when we come back. Just after Thanksgiving, we're going to talk about what some of the best foods are, the correct opinions on what that Thanksgiving plate should look like. Don't go anywhere. Port Huron leads it 2-1 here on the PHP Network.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold. Hungry Howie's.
Back here on the PHP Network, Port Huron leads Topeka 2-1 with 20 minutes left to go in this one. Brady Beaton back here at the McMorran Studios. And, well, we have a little time here in the second intermission, so I guess we'll call this what, Christian? Brady's thoughts, just whatever's on my mind. And that's a scary place to be, but we're going to start yesterday, Thanksgiving, and it's always a debate of what you put on your plate, what you don't. So I'm going to go through what the correct plate is for what you have at Thanksgiving. Now, I'm going to put a caveat on this. You can't say that a food is good or bad. Well, if you don't cook it right, well, of course. Any food that you don't cook right. So we'll start with turkey. People go, oh, well, turkey, dry. If you cook it the right way, if you handle it correctly, then turkey is not too dry, and it's a very good food. I don't understand this hate. It's becoming kind of popular to hate on turkey right now. No, turkey is a staple, and people say, well, why don't you have it the rest of the year? Have you walked through the sliced meat section of a deli? You can get sliced turkey in, and in fact, quite great on a sandwich in the middle of the week. So turkey stays on the plate. And then maybe the most versatile food, maybe it's the Irish in me, but a mashed potato is 3 big scoops on the plate. You absolutely have to have the mashed potato. One of the most versatile foods, the potato in its own right, but in mashed form, especially with a little gravy on it, maybe some butter melted into it. And again, you can't say, well, it's lumpy. Then that means you didn't prepare it right. It's not my fault you don't know how to mash a potato. So if you mash it right and it's not lumpy, if you put the effort in, it obviously goes on there. The other meat that I will put on there, I know not everyone has it at Thanksgiving, but ham also autoplay. Automatically on the plate. And I think this one is probably the least controversial one. You got to put the stuffing on there. I know some people might not like it saying it's dry, but you drizzle a little gravy on it. It's just straight carbs, and it is great. So right now, we have turkey, we have ham, we have stuffing, we have mashed potatoes, and of course, you can put gravy on what you need. Good gravy adds to everything. Last one I'm going to put maybe not the most traditional one on the plate, but mac and cheese, if you get someone that makes it right, not just putting noodles and some store-bought cheese on there. No, you melt down your own cheese. You get some mixes, whatever you like. Sharp cheddar, Gouda, whatever you'd like on there. Put it on there. mac and cheese can add to Thanksgiving dinner. So those are all what's going on there. Now, here's the one that's going to get everyone mad at home. When you get to dessert, no apple pie, no pumpkin pie, no pecan pie. The best pie, and I've only had it with my family, but it is elite, and it's because I have a sweet tooth. Chocolate pudding pie that my mom makes is elite, and it outranks any of those other pies. It is absolutely awesome. So you know what? I'm not saying those other pies, no, but once you've had the best, you're not going to go back to that. Others, things that will not make an appearance. No green bean casserole. Dry, even if you make it well, not good enough. Not a huge cranberry guy. I'm not going to be upset if you like it. I know my wife especially loves the canned cranberry. So I'm not going to say that, but that is a personal preference pass for me. And the other one, listen, it's not because it's bad, but you already have the mashed potato on there. No room for sweet potatoes. There's other times of the year you can use them. Sweet potatoes, yams, things like that. No, those are going to be those are passes for me. So again, next year when you're building your plate, you have almost an entire year to prepare for this. Listen, learn to make the turkey the right way, because turkey the right way is good. You've got ham on there to complement the turkey. It's a 1-2. It's a center and a forward. You have ways to make that work. And then mashed potato, again, you have that for every big meal. That's mashed potato is number one draft pick all the time for Thanksgiving. Stuffing, you get some good gravy, and mac and cheese with, of course, look it up. Chocolate pudding pie is the best dessert. You'll gain 5 pounds just on that. There is hockey to talk about, and we will go back to Topeka with Will right after this. Your Prowlers lead it 2-1 here on the PHP Network.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Welcome back to Topeka. Lights are down, and Journey is playing, and we are getting set for period number 3 right here on the PHP Network. Before we get there, though, let's take a look at what's coming up next for the Prowlers. It's the start of a 5-game road stretch, as we have 2 more against the Scarecrows this weekend. 8:05 p.m. start tomorrow night, and then 5:05 Sunday. That's 4:05 local time. Kind of a matinee, not really, but you can call it a matinee if you please. And I won't get upset with you like I will with Brady Beaton over leaving green bean casserole out back there. My aunt makes an amazing green bean casserole, and I would not want Thanksgiving without it. But anyway, next up, the Prowlers head to Binghamton as we begin the month of December. 7 p.m. starts against the Black Bears. Of course, all of those road games can be found here on the PHP Network. And of course, the best place to watch a Prowlers road game is Wings Etc. I want to give a big shout out to our Wings Etc. watch party here tonight. But of course, find us on the PHP Network for all of those road games coming up. Take a look at what's going on around the FPHL, our out-of-town scoreboard. And we start with a game that's heading to overtime. The Columbus River Dragons and the PD Ice Cats tied up at 1 as they approach the end of regulation. They're near the end of the 3rd period as well in Danbury. The Twin City Thunderbirds have scored the last 2. Can they complete the comeback? They're trailing the Hat Tricks 4-3. 3rd period in Watertown, Black Bears up 3-1 right now. And CJ Stubbs and Nick Swain have tacked on goals, make it 4-1 now in favor of the Black Bears, as they did just get the one from Swain. Bobcats all over the Sentinels here. They're up 7-3 in the third in Indiana. Brandon Reller has 4 points. Kyle Heitzner in his return to the Bobcats has a pair of goals. Zydeco look like they're on their way to their second win of the season. Up 6-2 on the Biloxi Breakers thanks to a 4-goal second period. Of course, here it is 2-1 in favor of the Port Huron Prowlers. Take a look at our game stats here, and I do have to put an asterisk next to the penalty minute totals because the FPHL website has not been updated with the current penalty minute totals. They have not updated anything on the website since 9 minutes into period number 2. The shots on goal, though, 24-17 based on the big board here at Landon Arena. The Prowlers a 2-1 lead. Scarecrows 1 for 4 on the power play. I did mix those up as we get set for the start of the third. And the Prowlers will have their third power play of the game to begin period 3 as Avery Smith is in the box for 2 minutes for, again, can't tell you right now because they have not updated the live stats on the website since the 9-minute mark, 9:20 mark of period number 2. So hopefully we can get that going, but if not, I hope I have a scrap paper around here so I can count penalty minutes. Prowlers send out their top man advantage unit with a 2-1 lead thanks to Bobby Price's goal in the final 10 seconds of period number 2, the Hungry Howie's second period. And that's where we stand after what has been some sloppy hockey from both sides. And we are underway here in the third. Can the Prowlers convert on the man advantage? Johnson flying in. Prowlers offsides at the line. Last time Port Huron was here for the neutral site games last season, Alex Johnson was in the midst of a stretch where he was playing forward. He played on a line with Reggie Millette and Joel Frazee, and Johnson and Millette had themselves a game the second night of that back-to-back. In the neutral site games when the Prowlers played as the Topeka Roadrunners and the Dashers played as, well, the Topeka Scarecrows, which ended up winning the Name the Team contest later on. Here's Artu Heikkila weaving in. Spins off in the corner. Federley across towards Matt Graham. He couldn't bring it in. Johnson hustles over to keep the puck alive. Johnson towards the net, missed wide. Favaro down behind the cage to Graham. Heikkila try to kick it back to Graham, and Connor Lind fires it all the way down. It is interesting the differences in these power play units as the Prowlers are switching up their other unit. Usually Austin Federley has nearly always quarterbacked a power play, whether it's unit 1 or unit 2. And now in a different spot on that first unit. Here's Anderson wheeling in the right wing side, is shot off a stick and wide. Anderson was on that first unit for a while, then on this unit, and still on this unit again. As Bucell plays it back around this way. Organ for Price, tried to give it back, fanned on the pass. Organ floats it down low, knocked away, and Scarecrows trying to move up shorthanded. Clark cuts in, drops it off. Papa Petros a shot, blockered by Cooper. And now the Prowlers with a 3-on-2, maybe a 3-on-1, but Lockhart couldn't corral that puck. Penalty has expired. And now Topeka is going to the man advantage. Scott Koash was taken down. And Jamie Bucell is heading over to the box. Tripping signaled against Bucell, 5th power play of the night for the Scarecrows. They are 1 for 4. He caught it there. The tail end of that interaction between Bucell's stick and Coash's feet. And there it is again. Ooh, well, not sure if a trip is the right call there. Actually, now that I see it again, Bucell just tried to throw a hit. Interference signaled right off the bat, and that will do it for the Topeka power play. TJ Sneath going to the box. Let's get another look at that one if we can. Robbie Nichols is having a chat with the referee. Watch Sneath. He's the center here, as he prevented Morick from getting out to the point. And Robbie Nichols didn't like that call. Nichols already had a chat with Jesse Burns, the one referee. Now he's calling over Dan Huntington to talk with him. That only knocked 4 seconds off the clock, so we'll have 4-on-4 for nearly the entire time of the penalty to Bucell. That happened the opposite way in the first period when the Prowlers ended their own power play with a penalty after 10 seconds. Off this face-off, Scarecrows trying to work out. Koch will turn it back and look for some space. Coash up towards Lynn, tipped it along, right into Organ. Organ wheels up. He ran into Coash. Koch takes the long feed. Koch between his own legs all the way around the net. Looking for a pass. Tried to hand it off to the point and ended up in the neutral zone. Papa Petros had his pass attempt blocked by Lockhart, who's in hard on the forecheck. Prowlers got their other three off as the long feed working in. A shot knocked down by Cooper. That was Gordon Whalen, and then off the outside of the cages, Favaro's pass went awry. Johnson hands it off to James. Centering feed in front, they score! Beautiful pass from James to Austin Federley, and the Prowlers have a 3-1 lead. Well worked zone entry, and James saw Federley sneaking down the back post. A perfect pass, and then they run into each other to celebrate. Austin Federley has his third of the year. The Prowlers with a 2-goal cushion now. 4-on-4 continues for another 57 seconds. Topeka looking for a response. Outside shot hit the post. That was Gagnon. Wilson working on the boards. Norwinski off a stick. Parsons takes his man out of the play. Artu Hakala takes the puck. He wheels up. 3 Scarecrows back to meet Hakala. His shot off of Bernard's stick and up off the glass. Gagnon harassed by Hakala. Norwinski had his stick lifted, trying to get away from DeCumbis.
Time of the goal, 3:11 in period number 3.
Wilson tried a return feed for Clark. That didn't work. Parsons backhands it up the boards. Price skates into it. Price avoids one man. Price working in. To his backhand, had it knocked off his stick. That comes Topeka on the counter. Wrist shot stopped by Cooper, and he will cover up as we are back to full strength on both sides. A 3-1 game for the Port Huron Prowlers. They obviously are unsuccessful on that 5-second power play. Face off to Cooper's right. A little too much sneaking in from the far side wingers there. That's Smith and Johnson. They drop the puck and Graham wins it back clean. And Smith with a hard hit on Johnson after he cleared the puck around. Checo, a wrister blocked by Johnson. And it pinballs out of the zone. Cooper stops it. Johnson. Bizal, Graham, right back. Bizal scores first pro goal in this game. Sets it up towards Hakala, who tipped it in. Graham for Hakala, trying to turn the corner. Looks towards the net, puts it there, and off the pillows of Sammy Bernard. Graham for Hakala, try to return feed. Scarecrow got dumped into the blue paint. Parsons, a wrister, hit a body on the way through. Graham all the way across, and Anderson couldn't get a good touch on it. Anderson pulls it out of the pile. Blake Anderson on the breaks around the net. Anderson wheeling towards the cage. Went back behind. Brockway sent it back down deep. Anderson is tangled up with a Scarecrow away from the play. Meanwhile, James with a nice job to keep that puck in the zone. Brockway steps up, walks in and shoots. See, Bernard rebounds there, and Bernard able to cover up. Anderson still tangled up with Papa Petros over in that far side face-off circle, and Luke James was going hard to the net looking for the rebound. They try and pry those Anderson and Papa Petros apart right now. Something is stuck on something. Not sure what it is. And finally, they get untangled. Those two about as tough to untangle as some of my cords when I'm trying to set up my broadcast here. I need better cord management skills. Papa Petros may have been laying on Anderson's stick. Either way, we'll take a timeout here on the PHP Network. Prowlers with 3-1 lead.
Hi, what can I get for you?
I'd like some McMorrin fries, please.
All right, that's going to be $4. Okay.
She shoots, she scores with the new Prowlers debit card.
Don't you have somewhere to be? The game's on.
Get your Prowlers debit card only at Flagship Community Federal Credit Union, located on Lapeer Road in Port Huron. Flagship Federal Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Back here in Topeka, take another look at the top of your screen. Papa Petros and Anderson getting tangled up here. Looks like their arms got tangled up. And then they would just stay tangled up in that face-off circle for the rest of the shift until the whistle blew, which was a good 10, 15 plus seconds. It's a bizarre circumstance there. You got a face-off here to Bernard's right. Shots favoring the Prowlers so far in this game, 28-18. They have the 3-1 lead as Norwinski hustles after it, chased by Bizal. And Bizal finishes his check. Morick tried to stuff it, and Bernard got down in time. Kept in by Lockhart at the line. Federley looking to the back. Morgan walks in and shoots, in a glove save by Bernard. And now Morick drawing attention in the blue paint. Bizal involved as well. I believe that's Lind grabbing at Brett Morick. It was right up against the crossbar. No, pardon me, that's Jordan Gagnon. Take another look. Gagnon and Morick battling right in front of the net. Morgan had his pick of where to look, but Sammy Bernard didn't give him much to look at with that big 6'5", 210-pound frame. Just over 6 minutes gone here in period 3. Only goal of the frame belongs to the Prowlers captain, Austin Federley. With the goal, Austin Federley now just 4 points away from 250 in his FPHL career. He'll slide in to take this face-off against TJ Sneath. Off the draw, chopped towards the cage and scooped up by Bernard. And now more extracurriculars. Bucell is paired off with a Scarecrow over in the corner. They're really going at it. It's 2-on-2 in front of the net. Bucell and Whalen swinging each other around there in the corner. Linesmen have not gone to them yet, and now they'll be pried apart. Bucell is heading to the box. I believe Whalen will go there as well. This one a harmless enough looking one, but the Scarecrows wanted to make a statement about the Prowlers going by their net. Bucell and Whalen both in the box. I don't expect this to affect on-ice manpower. You saw them there paired up, and they kind of snuck away from that scrum as the linesmen were clearing everyone away. Oh, and now another Scarecrow in the box. Austin Federley signaling to his bench that the Prowlers are up a man. So a power play for Port Huron, their 5th of the game. Papa Petros and Whalen in the Topeka penalty box. Papa Petros got the extra penalty. Bucell over in the Prowlers box, so we'll see if we get someone to replace Bucell over on the other power play unit, but we start with the top unit. Off the draw, Favaro, faked the drive. Johnson, Favaro, let it go! Hunting for heads, but he missed the net as Graham almost had to go ducking for cover.
All receiving 2 minutes for roughing at 6:08.
Federley, stick handling in the corner. Nicholas set up right in front. Graham looked his direction. He'll go to the top to Favaro as Johnson on the other side. Federley to Johnson. Fanned on the pass across. Scarecrows trying to move up short-handed. Here's Sneath. Off for Clark. Handcuffed him a bit with that pass. Sneath and Johnson tie it behind the net. Good play by Alex Johnson to win that puck. Favaro up slowly. Gets in. Nick Favaro rims it all the way around. Got past James. Organ, rink-wide feed on Price's stick. So Luke James taking some power play time here as Price catches backdoor feed. Too far in front of James. Lockhart, a wrister missed wide. Organ across to Price. Has to settle that puck down. Organ takes a look, fakes the shot. Stick handled it off his stick. Anderson changing directions behind the net. Lockhart claps it down towards James. Scarecrow stepped in front of that. Here comes Topeka shorthanded. Gagnon, outside try, and Cooper may have got a piece of that with the shoulders. It went over top of the net. Back the other way come the Prowlers. 16 seconds left on their power play. Organ hands it off. Price, delayed penalty coming up against the Scarecrows as Price's shot was knocked down. Luke James down on a knee, and now down on both knees, and he'll get attention from Prowlers trainer Bridget Smith. This will be a 5-on-3 for 6 seconds, and then another Prowlers power 5-on-4. James ran into the linesman there and got cross-checked by Gagnon on his way back up the ice. And you can see there definitively on the replay. If we look at it again, Gagnon in the box, should be a cross-checking call. If we look at that replay once again, or even if we don't, you saw Gagnon extending his arms as he pushed James into the boards. He didn't hit him with his shoulder, didn't hit him with his chest, didn't hit him with anything else. He extended his arms, and that's the reason for the penalty. The Prowlers are set up for a very brief 5-on-3. Take another look. Watch James at the bottom of your screen, ran to the lines, and watch Gagnon. Extends the arms there. You can't do that. You have to go in with the shoulder to make a check. You extend your arms there. That's a cross check, which I believe should be the call. Again, they've not been putting down penalties and things like that right now. As Pavaro, one-timer blocked. They do announce it in the arena as cross-checking. One power play is over, but the Prowlers still up a man. 5-on-4. Federley floats it through, and that was deflected wide. Pavaro looking for Graham. Backhanded around, and Blaisdell found it, lost it! And it's Bernard alert to stop that one from Hakala. Pavaro steps out. Leaves it for Johnson. Johnson works in to the outside. Pass out in front, quick shot, stop Bernard. James behind the net to Graham, across looking for Johnson. That hit a stick and disrupted it just enough. Lockhart wants it, he's got it. Down to Graham. In front, looking for James, pinching to the back post. Now Johnson to Lockhart again. Norwinski able to disrupt the Prowlers' cycle, and he clears the zone. Organ was fresh off the bench, right there for that puck. Lockhart floats it. James working in, glove save, Bernard. And then James knocked over by Koash. And the Prowlers coming to Luke James's defense as the crowd gets on its feet here in Topeka. Still not done. Anderson Papapetros. Norwinski is over in the area of the penalty boxes. He may have been the one that knocked down Luke James. So watch here, James got right in on Bernard, and Koash came in to knock him over. And everybody piling on top. Koash is in the box. Norwinski is also in the box. 34 seconds are left on Jacob Gagnon's penalty. 10.5 left here in period 3. Prowlers with a 3-1 lead. Now we're getting 2 penalties here to Topeka. They've put Norwinski up on the board for 2 minutes. I'll see if anybody else joins them. Ben Brockway, Prowlers alternate captain there, getting the explanation. He doesn't do the hand signals like Austin Federley does, so I can't tell from up here what's going on. But Norwinski's in the box, Gagnon's in the box still. Koash is in the box as well. Now Brockway comes back to report to the referee what he heard from Chris Paulin and the Prowler bench. And you see again, everything breaking loose after the initial hit on James. Now Vinny DeCumbis skating over to the Prowlers penalty box for, I don't know why, they may have just asked for a player and Vinny DeCumbis happened to go over there to serve. There are 5 Prowlers and 2 Scarecrows on the ice. Third is TJ Sneath, who is talking to the referee. So 2 of these penalties may cancel. Looks like 2 of these penalties cancel out, and then it's a 5-on-3 with Norwinski's number up on the board. That is what my guess is. I don't know if I'll get an answer from our stat sheet. As here's Federley to Favaro. Back to Federley. Favaro once more. Federley, curl and drag, shot blocked. I think it hit his own man Hakala. 10 seconds left in the 5-on-3. Johnson working back in to the outside. Hakala up top. Favaro loads it up, and he couldn't get it to go. Bernard may have got it with the knob of his stick. But a 5-on-4 power play now for the Prowlers. Blaisdell couldn't clap it down the ice. Johnson wheeling up high. Off towards Favaro. Trying to get around Gagnon. Favaro spinning in the corner. Over towards Graham behind the net. Federley with a minute left on the penalty. They actually have Coash's number on the board now. A late change. Here Johnson ripped through traffic. Gloved and held by Sammy Bernard. Prowlers power play certainly getting its opportunities, has not been successful yet tonight. This is their 7th opportunity, and we will finish it up for you when we come back here on the PHP Network.
Credit union, like earning real financial advantages. You can earn up to $1,000 with your new account. Plus, save an average of nearly $4,000 in interest when refinancing. Get started with the low-rate credit card balance transfer. Enjoy easy access to your money anytime, anywhere. Make the switch today at adviacu.org/real people. Advia Credit Union. Real advantages for real people.
.48 seconds left on the power play for the Port Huron Prowlers. 9:20 left to go in period 3. Thanks for staying up late with us here on the PHP Network. Prowlers trying to close out their 2nd straight win. Trying to get off to a good start to this 3-3 weekend. As the power play continues, Price tried to turn it on net. And Bucell retrieves it in the corner. Oregon slap pass down toward Bucell. Deflected over top of the cage. Checo taken in by Anderson. To a side scrum. Got only as far as Lockhart before he bangs it back down and around. Oregon couldn't keep that one in. He'll hustle back after it in his own end. Lockhart couldn't handle the hot feed cleanly. And now Oregon spinning off of Koch. Tried to slip it to Anderson. Koch took it away, and he slaps it back around. Bucell reverts for Oregon. This will take care of the rest of the Prowlers' power play. As the Scarecrows back to full strength. They still trail by 2 with under 8.5 to go. Brockway cuts in. Lost it off his stick. Parsons just did keep it alive at the line. Connor Lind fed it off. A rink-wide feed is ahead to Sneath. Had to stop and wait for it. Brockway gets after the dump. He's dumped by Clark. Three Prowlers, 2 Scarecrows digging away as the puck is pinned along the corner boards. Brockway backs out, he's watching, and he's able to pull it out of the pile. Brockway with plenty of skating room. Here he comes, Ben Brockway wheeling in, drops it off from Warwick, cuts in, shoots, and a save by Bernard. Leaves no rebound. Despite the eager Prowlers there, hoping he would leave one. Both teams will get changes here. As good shot there by Morick. Some moving screens in front as well, as the Prowlers have done a good job of getting in on Sammy Bernard and causing lots of traffic in front, just disrupting the Scarecrows netminder throughout tonight's game. That's when the Prowlers are on their game, that's something they're doing well, is disrupting the goaltender, taking away his eyes. They move the faceoff outside. Prowlers defense came in to be part of that scrum, so that's why the draw is just in front of the penalty boxes. Tossed out of the Topeka end. Johnson for Favaro. Graham towards Johnson, taken in by Whalen. Kicked along. Graham left it. Couple players battling for it, and Scarecrows trying to start up ice. The two-line pass was partially deflected on its way to Hall. Johnson tried to bump it around. It hit Hall, who was coming in to throw a hit. Papa Petros able to poke it back in. Higala tosses it to DeCumbis, but he couldn't glove it down to his stick. And a hand pass called against Vinny DeCumbis and the Prowlers, and some of that sloppiness rearing back up here. Well, the Prowlers are on the ice, so grab a glass of Proper 12 Irish whiskey. Proper 12, the official shot of the Port Huron Prowlers. Please drink responsibly. Brett Lockhart able to fire it all the way around. Topeka works back out, 3-on-3 rush, and they dump it in. Lockhart sent it past Koch, and just got past Norwinski at the line. Anderson trying to catch back up to it. Good step there by Gagnon. Anderson off the board, sends Morick after it. He's able to dump it in as Koch finished him off. Prowlers playing the field position game here, just continue to try and get the puck in deep as Federley pitchforks it out of his own end. Lind wheeling back up, and there are 6 Scarecrows on the ice. That is one too many. Prowlers going to their 8th power play of the game. Take another look. There's 4 on your screen. There's 1 off to the left. Now 5 on your screen. Oh, there's another one in the Prowlers zone. 6 is too many, and with just under 6 to go, Prowlers to their 8th power play. So far have not found a power play goal yet. And as finally Robbie Nichols has decided to send Elijah Wilson over to serve.
Scarecrows would like to thank Parkland Bat Builders for sponsoring tonight's Hockey Fights Cancer Jersey auction. Bid live at the concourse now.
Off the faceoff, Prowlers set up, but interference called, and that will do it for this man advantage as Matt Graham heads to the box, and you have to wonder if that's a bit of a makeup call for the one earlier. That one earlier went against TJ Sneath, so we'll have 4-on-4. With Graham heading into the box. Faceoff will come all the way down to Reed Cooper's end. Minute 57 of 4-on-4 time, and then one of the shortest power plays in Topeka Scarecrows history. And save for another penalty. Prowlers scored a 4-on-4 goal in this third period. It was Luke James to Austin Federley. There's Parsons wheeling it up. Right down the gut. Over to Price. His wrister off of Bernard. Anderson steps across the middle. Takes a shot, and Bernard got a piece. Parsons around behind the net. Tried to feed it out to Anderson. Missed him. And it goes all the way down. Up comes Brockway. Into the offensive zone. Brockway left wing side. around the net. Tried to give it off to Hakela, taken away. Koash fed it up to Koch. Wheeling in, Hugo Koch was muscled off by Oregon as he got down towards Cooper, and then Papa Petros bumped Cooper, so did Koch. Lockhart tied up with Koch. They'll have to be pried apart. They will be, and take another look as Cooper covered it up. Koch came right in towards Reed Cooper, and Lockhart took offense to that. Looks like they'll both head to the box. We will head to a break for the final time in regulation. Prowlers and Scarecrows. Final under 5 minutes when we come back, or at least we're supposed to go to a timeout here. Has anybody noticed? Finally, the Prowlers bench is noticed. And we will go to that timeout, and we'll be back here on the PHP Network.
Discover 1195 Gastropub in Marysville. Burgers, pizzas, apps, and pub favorites like filet mignon and grilled salmon. Open Monday to Friday, 4 to 9 p.m., weekends 12 to 9 p.m. Join us for happy hour, Monday to Thursday. Enjoy half-off bottles of wine every Wednesday, and don't miss Thirsty Thursday with $4 draft beers. Great food, cold drinks, good times. That's 1195 Gastro Pub.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
We invite you to tune into our next broadcast. That will be tomorrow night, Saturday, November the 29th, when the Prowlers and Scarecrows do it again. Puck drop scheduled for 8:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Pregame show starts at 7:50. It's all right here on the PHP Network. Lockhart and Koch get matching penalties. That does not affect the on-ice manpower. It will stay four-a-side hockey for the next 52 seconds. Of course, stick around for the post-game show here on the PHP Network. Hear from our Gunther Graphics player of the game, Coach Paulin. Locker room reaction, highlights with Brady Beaton, and much more. Bobby Price has the goal in this game, currently standing up as the game winner. Oregon looking ahead towards Price. He'll hand it off to Parsons. Anderson. Oregon. Price takes a look and shoots it wide along the ice. Delayed penalty coming up. And it's against Topeka. Behind the play, Papa Petros took a penalty on Blake Anderson. Tripping is the signal. And take another look. And Papa Petros just stuck out that hip on Anderson away from the puck. So how about the ninth power play opportunity for the Prowlers tonight? They still have not gotten a man advantage goal. But honestly, at this point, the power play serving to take time off the clock. Shots in the arena says 37-21 for the Prowlers. Again, that has not fully been updated on the league website. Tied up off the faceoff. That was Alex Johnson taking the draw. Favaro for Federley. It's a 4-on-3 power play here for the Prowlers. Favaro gave it back to Federley. Walks, gives to Johnson, tapped right back. Rister, score! R2 Hakela with the deflection in front power play goal for Port Huron, makes it 4-1. That will certainly be Hakela's goal. Watch him right in front of Sammy Bernard, setting up Federley sent a deflectable shot through, and Hakala got a nice piece of it. He snaps the goal drought with his 6th of the year. Again, nice tip there. You'll see it there by Archu Hakala.
Port Huron goal scored by number 28.
So play continues here as, oh, they sent the, pardon me, they took the wrong penalty off the board here. Prowlers still in the power play here. Hakala tried to move back in, but offside is called. So we'll get a face-off here to fix our penalty clock here. That is my fault. Apologies for that. Prowlers still on the man advantage here. I believe we have, I don't even know if this is their 10th of the night. Still 9th. I have no idea. Anyway, wheeling back in is Alex Johnson. He left the puck behind. And Sneath passed it off. Here come the Scarecrows shorthanded. They have their pockets picked. Johnson with Graham. Johnson backpedaling. Down to Graham in the corner. Floated up high to Favaro. Graham all the way across to Price. Favaro looking straight on. Sent it through the traffic. Ended up off the backboards. All the Prowlers besides Favaro were right there in front of the net. Graham couldn't tip that shot pass. Price back towards Johnson, and able to jump into that is Clark. Working in shorthanded. Clark had his stick lifted by the hard back-checking Bobby Price. Now Price wheels back in. Hands it off for Anderson. Turning the corner. Ripping one. He scores. Bar down. Blake Anderson. What a shot from Anderson as Price handed it off, and Blake Anderson ping off the bar. 5th of the year for Anderson. The Prowlers blowing it open late. And a great zone entry there, too, by Bobby Price, who will pick up an assist to add to his second period goal. He's had a nice game. Cross corner dump as Topeka looks for something, but Avery Smith lost an edge. Battled for in the corner. Moore trying to pull it out. O'Reilly with a chance. Kicked out by Cooper, and Brockway and Smith tied up. Smith gave Brockway a shot. I think that's the first time I said Quinn O'Reilly's name. I didn't even know he was playing until this moment. Brockway, you saw there, pointed at the scoreboard. O'Reilly trying to grab at Morick, and Parsons says that's enough of that. Brockway with another point up at the board because it's 5-1. See Brockway and Smith get tied up right here. Smith dumped Morick. And then they get their arms around each other. Brockway and Smith. Let's see if we get Brockway's point. Oh, it just cut off before Brockway pointed up at the scoreboard, but a couple of ticks over, 2 minutes left to go in regulation. We want to remind you that coming up on the post-game show here on the PHP Network, highlights and analysis from Brady Beaton back in our McMorran Place studios. Avery Smith is being asked to leave, by the way, while we're doing our read, and he's not too happy about it. We'll also get the final game stats. Might have to put an asterisk on the penalty totals with the troubles that they've had loading that stuff into our live stats here on the FPHO website. Also have locker room reaction from our Gunther Graphics player of the game, as well as Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paul. So you want to stick around till the very end to hear the thoughts of the Prowlers locker room. So again, be sure to stick around on the PHP Network post-game show. Ben Brockway with some fist pumps to his bench. And look at the stick taps from the Prowler bench as Brockway heads off the ice. He's stopped to give Reed Cooper a fist bump. And he's the first one to the showers tonight. All around good night for those wearing the Port Huron Prowlers cat on their chest. Again, thank you so much for everyone who's stuck around with us past 10:30 p.m. Port Huron time. And as you're getting yourself ready for bed, maybe you're serenaded to sleep by the sweet words of Chris Paulin's post-game interview. Again, stick around for that coming up in the post-game show. Off the face-off, Parsons gave it away. Pinballs around, and Parsons able to clear it off to the boards. O'Reilly tried to cycle it down deep. Parsons forced it right through O'Reilly. Lind had it dug out by Federley. Goes all the way down, no icing coming. Whalen swept it around for Papa Petros. Lead pass, got past O'Reilly. No icing here as O'Reilly won the race for the puck, but he tried to throw a hit on Favaro and bailed out the last moment. Bizal chasing Whalen. Minute 15 left to go in this one. One that the Prowlers have been able to really pull away here in the third. Prowlers hit a new season high in goals with 5. As Bobby Price, goal and an assist at least for him tonight. Backhands it around, 46 seconds left. Morick trying to feed it back across. Here comes Organ, weaving his way in. Tim Organ was surrounded and lost the puck. Prowlers will move to 3-0 against the Topeka Scarecrows. Also 3-0 here in this building as DeCumbus got a shot away that Bernard was able to stop and hang on to. Of course, after going 2-0 in the neutral site games last year. Final shots here in the arena. Well, not final, I should say. 15.2 seconds left, but 37-21 right now.
Don't forget, we have our jersey auction for the jerseys. Players are after the game.
One last rush for Topeka in this one. They won't get a chance as O'Reilly fumbled the puck. And now, right in the middle of the ice, Koch trying to get Morick to go. Bucell comes in to answer Koch, and now O'Reilly grabs Bucell, and we're not done. O'Reilly grabbing at Bucell with a linesman in between. Everybody else has a dance partner. Most pairings have been separated. Bucell and O'Reilly still having a chat with both linesmen trying to tear them apart. But the Prowlers will get the win tonight, 5-1 behind 20 saves from Reed Cooper. Now we're heating back up as Morick got back involved. And it's a dog pile at center ice. Robbie Nichols and Chris Poland yelling at each other. Nichols is on top of the benches right now, yelling at Chris Poland. He's all the way around the stanchion is Robbie Nichols. Nichols and Poland barking at each other over on the benches. Poland with his finger at Robbie Nichols. Nichols has decided to go back to his own bench. Bucell is being escorted to the locker room. Koch finally lets Morick go. Not after one last shove. Prowlers can finally celebrate their 3 points. Robbie Nichols is now standing in front of the Prowler bench. So is Justin Schmidt. They have to be careful here. Referee's trying to get them away. Matt Graham right there next to Justin Schmidt. Chris Paulin involved as well. Paulin now moving down to the front. Blake Anderson trying to get in front of him. Everybody has to get between Chris Paulin and Robbie Nichols. And now the Prowlers will head off to their own room. Robbie Nichols with those bright orange sneakers, finishing his conversation with the men in stripes. Scarecrows salute their crowd. Prowlers head off with the 3 points. Again, coming up on the postgame show here on the PHP Network. Highlights and analysis. And Brady Beaton, you have a lot to go through in that last couple of minutes, if not the whole third period. We'll also take a look at the final game stats, the out-of-town scores, locker room reaction, and more. It's all coming up here on the PHP Network. But again, stick it right here because we'll be sending it back to Brady Beaton and the postgame show. It's next.
Are you sick of asking somebody else to live your own life? I'm Josh with the Franchise Guys. If you're ready to quit your job or build your empire, I'll help you trim down my 800 franchise brand partnerships down to a few that fit you, fit your goals, and fit your budget. With options from senior care to airplane detailing, there's an opportunity for you. Owning a franchise can have up to a 90% success rate. That's better than job security. With the systems and support of a franchise, you won't be making all those costly mistakes as you would if you started your own business from scratch. And with options as low as $6,000 to get your own job-replacing business, there's no better option for you than to book a free call with me and my team. Visit GoFranchiseGuys.com. Stop dreaming about a better life and go live it.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a whole play. I'll take. Come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Yeah, I don't know about this one, fellas.
Boys, we don't overcome adversity by backing down. But yeah, I don't know about this one.
That's reassuring.
We're so screwed.
All right, boys. Here's the game plan. LJ, you start with bananas.
Wait, why do I have to do the bananas?
Because you're the softest on the team.
I don't want the bananas.
This thing is gonna melt. We gotta hurry up.
I won't do it.
Okay, both of you. I will do the bananas and the whipped cream. Fets, please continue.
Who's paying for this anyway?
I am. I just bought my tickets for the Prowlers game this weekend, and the Milkhouse gave me 25% off my order.
Fets, why'd you buy the tickets? You're literally on the team.
For the discount.
So are you all ready to give it a try?
Oh, we're ready.
It's true. Get 25% off your entire order at the Milkhouse, October through April. Simply show your ticket stubs at checkout and enjoy your discounted treat.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go Prowlers!
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold.
Hungry
Howie's! SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Hello, I'm home.
There he is.
What is happening?
Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch?
Spicy.
Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite.
Can you stop?
Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack wrap is back.
Back here on the PHP Network post-game show, Brady Beaton here as your Prowlers celebrating a 5-1 win. We'll talk about a lot of the action on the ice, but there's a lot to unpack, especially from really the final few minutes until after the whistle, where everyone, coaches included, were getting after it. But let's go all the way back to the first period where Port Huron would take the early 1-0 lead as Connor Bazal scored his first career goal as a Port Huron Prowler. It was on a rebound where he got it going, and it was a bit of a sleepy start. Again, all that tryptophan was still working out of the guy's systems after Thanksgiving as Bazal scored to make it 1-0 Port Huron. Then later in the period, the scoring would be evened up for Topeka as they found the back of the net. A beautiful backdoor pass, and again, Reed Cooper had no chance. A tap in for Connor Lind to make it 1-1. That was all the scoring in the first period, but we go to period number 2. In the middle 20 minutes of this one, Port Huron would get back on the board again. They take the lead 2-1, a lead they would never surrender as it was Bobby Price that found the back of the net for Port Huron. 2-1 Prowlers. They would add another one in the third period with Austin Federley getting on the board. As here you see Federley come in and a cross crease pass, that one right on the doorstep, and then hug me, brother, celebrating the goal to make it 3-1. Things would get testy as they were all night. I mean, it's never calm waters. There's always a little bit of boiling in the pot, but here you see another instance of some pushing and shoving, as down in the corner there's a couple people dancing in front of the net, and this was not the first instance. But and then here Topeka gets called for tripping, and this is where the game started to really take off for Port Huron. They would get the next 2 goals to finish this one up. Artu Hikala with a tip out in front. 4-1 basically put the seal on it, but then the cherry on top, the exclamation point in this one for Port Huron, was Blake Anderson getting one more for good measure to make it 5-1. And that is where the hockey part of this hockey game ended and where the scrums and the fights started. So this one is still while the game's going on. As you have, this is at the end of the game, as the buzzer sounds and everyone starting to mash up. It looked like cooler heads would prevail, and then another spark reignited everything as you had, guys pairing up and trying to figure out this chaos. Again, the game is over at this point, and now you just have a whole dog pile and a mess to figure out. Everyone trying to, some guys trying to restore order. Here's more talking. And then eventually, even Robbie Nichols and Chris Paulin get on it. Anyone that's been around minor league hockey, especially here in Port Huron, if you go back to, even 20-some years, Robbie Nichols, a face you are familiar with. And this is something that wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. This is actually as it cooled down. At one point, Robbie Nichols was over top of the stanchion yelling at Chris Paulin. Chris Paulin was not taking things lightly. And just at this point, I don't know how many people outside of the men in stripes are trying to diffuse the situation as everything starts to wrap up. And, the thing with that is it's a great win for Port Huron. Now they have 6 points on this 4 games in 5-day stretch, and that's a great start. But at the end of the Indiana game, there were some mischiefs that got Reggie Millette a day off today. And I assume now this one, Topeka probably kept things. I mean, again, there's a lot of history with a lot of these guys from Motor City, guys like Avery Smith, Scott Coash, and others, that the bad blood doesn't go away just because they moved out to Kansas. There's still that history there, and they still had to play each other 1,000 times over the last couple years, and I think that's part of it. But Port Huron, again, we talk about it. They walk a line, and when they walk the line well, they play well, they get power plays, and they score on them. This time at the end of the game, you just hope that tempers stay calm, because for both sides, for Topeka and Port Huron, for Topeka, this loss snaps a 4-game winning streak. You want to get back on the right path against one of the top teams in the league in Port Huron tomorrow when you come back. But incidences like that, especially after the horn is over, is really when you start to see guys get suspensions, guys get days off. So we'll see how that all plays out. We'll have more on the PHP Network postgame show right after this. I'm Brady Beaton. We'll be back in just a moment.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Are you sick of asking somebody else to live your own life? I'm Josh with the Franchise Guys. If you're ready to quit your job or build your empire, I'll help you trim down my 800 franchise brand partnerships down to a few that fit you, fit your goals, and fit your budget. With options from senior care to airplane detailing, there's an opportunity for you. Owning a franchise can have up to a 90% success rate. That's better than job security. With the systems and support of a franchise, you won't be making all those costly mistakes as you would if you started your own business from scratch. And with options as low as $6,000 to get your own job-replacing business, there's no better option for you than to book a free call with me and my team. Visit GoFranchiseGuys.com. Stop dreaming about a better life and go live it.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a whole play. LJ, come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Yeah, I don't know about this one, fellas.
Boys, we don't overcome adversity by backing down. But yeah, I don't know about this one.
That's reassuring.
We're so screwed.
All right, boys. Here's the game plan. LJ, you start with bananas.
Wait, why do I have to do the bananas?
Because you're the softest on the team.
I don't want the bananas.
This thing is gonna melt. We gotta hurry up.
I won't do it.
Okay, both of you. I will do the bananas and the whipped cream. Fets, please continue.
Who's paying for this anyway?
I am. I just bought my tickets for the Prowlers game this weekend, and the Milkhouse gave me 25% off my order.
Fets, why'd you buy the tickets? You're literally on the team.
For the discount.
So are you all ready to give it a try?
Oh, we're ready.
It's true. Get 25% off your entire order at the Milkhouse, October through April. Simply show your ticket stubs at checkout and enjoy your discounted treat.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go Prowlers!
Back here on the PHP post-game show, Brady Beaton, and we'll wrap it up here at the McMorran Studios, but go back out to Topeka, go back out to Kansas and Will Wiggleman, as I'm sure he, after getting to talk to some of the guys in the locker room, is going to have some interesting insights on what happened right there at the end of the game. So that'll do it for me, Brady Beaton, but Will, back to you out in Kansas.
Thank you, Brady. I did indeed get to chat with a couple of guys in the locker room. Austin Federley and Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin. And we will start with Austin Federley, our Gunther Graphics Player of the Game. And with tonight's Gunther Graphics Player of the Game, Austin Federley, you guys really were able to pull away there at the end. How were you able to take advantage there?
I think we just got in their heads a little bit playing our game. You know, we play a hard game to play against, and it's frustrating. And it shows even when their coach is starting yelling at our bench. I mean, I think we played a pretty clean game compared to others, but it's very frustrating to play against us when we play the way we are supposed to.
Luke James able to get you that goal there. How did it feel to get back on the scoreboard and take us through that goal?
It's nice, but it's more than just getting him going too. He deserves it. He works his ass off, and he loves being here. He loves the boys, and he does everything that it takes to win.
And getting R2 a goal as well to kind of get him off the Shania a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something we talk about, and just simple plays on the power play. We've struggled a little bit, and we just talked about delivering pucks to the net, and he finally just tipped one home, and it's what we talked about. So,
after all that went on at the end, what are you expecting from them tomorrow?
I mean, it's just it's a different style than they really want to play. Like, they're not a team that wants to play in your face hockey. They have a couple guys over there that will, but it's not a genuine like it is in our room.
What are your thoughts of the rest of the media in here with us?
Yeah, I know it's a big presence here. Yeah, they're good guys. I think that was both my former roommate, well, one of my former roommates and a current roommate. So yeah, they're a good bunch. The guys love it here.
That's your Gunther Graphics player of the game. Gunther Graphics, your go-to guy for logos, websites, and branding. Thank you.
Wow.
And that was Austin Federle, joined by some of his teammates there in the post-game interview. A former roommate in Jamie Bussell, a current roommate in Luke James, who set up Federle's third period goal, the one that made it 3-1 as the Prowlers pulled away in the third period to get the win tonight. 5-1 the final over the Topeka Scarecrows. Before we close things out, though, we do have to hear from Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin. And let's hear from him now. We're here with Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin after the 5-1 win over the Topeka Scarecrows. Coach, you come in here, you get 3 points against them to open up the weekend. How'd you do it?
Yeah, it was good. I thought our energy and intensity was really good right from the beginning. Guys were landing at the net. We talked about a couple things we could exploit in the O-zone. I thought the guys, for the most part, did that well. Honestly, I thought we could add a couple more goals. The pucks just stayed out. But really good game. And I thought sprinting back for retrievals, both our forwards and our D, that got significantly better as the game went on. So big-time credit to the guys for that.
Connor Bazal gets his first pro goal to open the scoring. Just talk about his work to get to this point.
Yeah, it's funny. We never prioritize points here, goals and assists, and he's a very selfless kid. I know it's probably weighing on him a little bit. Huge relief for him, but he's been working very hard. I mean, he's coming out in all the goalie skates. He's skating all the time, studying the game. He's getting to the right spots. You saw he knew what to do with that puck when he got in front of the crease there. So just battled his way into the net, and he had a fantastic game all night.
You guys were locked in a battle towards the end of that second period. You get the goal from Bobby right in the final seconds. How big was that for you guys, just from a momentum perspective?
Yeah, huge. I mean, 29 can take over the game at any moment. And he made a heck of a play hitting the middle of the ice there, and goalie was significantly behind the play, and he made him pay. So awesome goal for Bobby, and I thought he did a lot of great things other than that as well. High-level player. He played a really good game.
They got a little bit testy there near the end. Can you give me the abridged version of your conversation with Robbie Nichols?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the energy and intensity was really good from the Prowlers tonight, and I think they were. I definitely didn't think they played their best game, and they tried to manufacture something at the end. And obviously their coach tells their guys to go out and start something, which I have no problem with, so long as you're willing combatants. When there's guys jumping in, third man in, I think that's ridiculous. And I told their coach, imagine if you guys brought the energy like this for 60 minutes instead of waiting 60 minutes, it might have been a tougher game. But no, they wanted to send some type of message. I think our guys were playing heavy and hard all night, landing in the crease. I thought we drew them into a lot of undisciplined penalties. And I think based on what I've seen, I think we have a great opportunity to do the same thing tomorrow. So I'm excited.
You expecting that energy from them right from the drop tomorrow?
I can't control what they do. I have no idea what's going on in their locker room right now. I do know that I can expect that from us. We are viewing this as a playoff series, so this game's nice. We got game 2 ahead of us tomorrow. I know all the guys we just spoke in the locker room. They're very excited for the challenge that tomorrow brings, so we'll be fired up and ready to go.
All right, thank you, Coach.
You got it.
And that was Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin after tonight's game. Prowlers get the win by a final score of 5-1. We want to invite you one more time to come back with us tomorrow and see the next one of this 3-3 between the Prowlers and the Topeka Scarecrows. Puck drop, the 8:05 p.m. pregame show starts at 7:50 right here on the PHP Network. That's going to do it for us. Producing and directing tonight was Christian Jackson, Sean Detvey on the graphics. Thanks so much to Aiden Bricker for all his help here on site. Thank you to the Topeka Scarecrows for the use of their camera this evening. And for Brady Beaton back in our McMorran Place studios, I'm Will Wiggleman saying so long. Have a great rest of your Friday night, and we will see you back here, same time, same place on the PHP Network.